Hello and welcome back, everyone. We are going to have a little bit of an experimental stream slash we're going to be looking at stuff, investigating stuff, and you guys have generally expressed an interest in seeing this sort of thing, so we're going to be just kind of doing that. First thing is the great game, do we get that content? It seems to me that when we started as Russia, we didn't get, like, the full journal entry, so we're just going to double check that if you start through this lens or whatever, that you don't actually get the huge event, and if you do, you do get the journal entry. So we'll see. And I don't know if you need to spark the Caucasian War or unpause the game to let things happen, but this is kind of the condition that we saw with Russia. We will also be practicing starts, specifically some of the harder starts I want to take a look at, like American territory. I don't know how, or I guess we're not loading again. I don't know how possible American territory is, but this is one that we wanted to take a look at. We might take a look at Persia. We're going to do a Persia or Afghanistan run soon. I'm probably going to pull it. We might pull between Persia, Afghanistan, and Great Britain. Oop, we clicked the wrong one. I think the one I mainly want to practice today is Spain, because I do want to make a new player playthrough guide, and so I wanted to take a quick look at Spain so that I have a pretty strong idea what I'm doing going into it, because it is going to be with no pauses, because people have requested videos with no pauses so they can actually see everything that I'm doing, and so we want to be doing that. Hey, Belgian Thunderstorms, happy Thursday to you. This is big nice. It's unfortunate we didn't get the happy Thursday on the dev diary. I don't know what that was about. So we have continued on our path. More challenges will appear eventually. One journal entry at one unpinned. But I think our the failure to do this just means you don't get the events, or you don't get the like slider bar or whatever. Okay. That's not supposed to be happening. Let's switch to Circassia. Someone was saying that Circassia actually has the strongest military bonus, and I wanted to see if we could see that in-game. Is it part of this? Okay, so honor before life. The imperial ambitions of Russia require total deconstruction of our homes, etc., etc. Russia does not have a state in Kuban, so as long as we don't take Kuban, we will maintain this plus 50% home defense. Minus 95% morale lost is a pretty nuts modifier. I don't know if I think it's better than Tuodros, plus 30 offense. But the plus percentage offense and defense in elevated and forested terrain also looks strong. Hey Rad, how's it going? Hey Mr. Bombastic. Hey Potrak. Hey Kiki or Heiki. Not sure how to pronounce your name, but hello to you as well. So this is a bit interesting. I suppose you actually just never want to take Kuban back if you're playing Circassia, right? Man, you're just going to be super obnoxious to take out if this is what you got going on. But we noticed when playing Russia, we sent like an army that should have been able to collapse Circassia, and then they got pushed back, and I was like, whoa. So, okay. Take a look over here at the American territories. We shouldn't have this great game thing if we're playing from the American territories, but I think it's fine. Just take a quick look gander at things. Yeah, so it's probably the railroad rush. Urban planning is also going to be important-ish, but I have to imagine you actually just still... I don't know what's the correct strategy here, but what's going to be important is this diplomacy, and it's slowly going down. We could damage relations. We could request market control to kick it up, and so we could get to the point where we are, you know, they have a bad attitude towards us. Just kind of taking a look at this, having already played through as, what is it, Krakow, and being successful at that. who could we even... We can contact France. So it's probably a matter of getting France to like you enough so that France will support you in one of these wars. This might actually be a really good patch to do it on because the USA actually doesn't build as much military as they should. Currently, the AI is not adding military according to its own internal logic. And so the fact that they'll be on 11 battalions for an extended period of time maybe gives you a really good opportunity. USA really, really weak this patch. So if there's a patch, and this is probably only for the next 5 days or something, if there's a patch to do American territories on that's somewhat recent, it's probably sometime within the next 5 days. I think that we want to do stuff... I don't think we want to abuse the fact that the USA is not going to add any battalions. Too much to make an American territory run, because if we do that, then it won't be replicable. But with kind of what we're seeing here with the diplomacy, this should be possible, because we should be able to get the Liberty Desire up high enough, both with having poor relations, we ask for our own market, and then we can get more stuff done. Can we demand a state? Pretty sure they wouldn't give it to us. I don't think it damages our relations, but they said no, though. Lele, I have something I've been wondering about for a while, but I never found a concrete answer. Is there population cap to each state, or soft cap, or any cap at all? Yes, there's a soft cap. You will start getting, I think it's either a pop growth malus or mortality malus. I forget if it's 100,000 or 250,000 per arable land. So it's proportional to your arable land. Not really that common since 1.4. Since in 1.5 they introduced significant dampening effects on pop growth. There's a lot less pop in the game than there was in 1.4, but 1.4 pops would kind of run more rampant, and you would hit the cap, and then you'd have less growth and this type of stuff. Okay. Doing a Baganda run inspired by Big Daddy, Big Dice. It's all the challenge without the fun. True. Tuodros isn't, it's not that challenging of a, well, I mean, it's challenging in the sense that you start with no tech, and in that way it's challenging, but at the same time whenever you get an offensive battle, you're just woo, feels like I'm in the late game. So Buganda, for those of you who don't know, is right down here, and Buganda is a lot more challenging because it's fully isolated. So one we wanted to take a look at was playing Wigerstan, because we want to see how possible this is. For the next 5 days, Indian territory is probably really easy to do. I don't want to do it while it's this easy, because right now, the AI doesn't add new battalions as much as it should, and I think that this even includes conscripts. Every time we've seen the USA fight in this patch, they've kind of gotten clapped really hard, and they're not putting up the same type of resistance they do in 1.6. So, this combined with the fact that you can ask them to reduce your autonomy and try and get support independence from France and this type of thing, I think makes it so that if you just reroll pretty aggressively for Texas being independent, you should, if you hit that condition, Texas winning, which to be fair, we don't know if Texas can win consistently, you should be able to probably just try and reduce autonomy, go after Texas, and then keep going. They cannot declare on Texas at game start because they're a puppet, so they have to get at least down to a dominion, so you have to either get independence or increase autonomy. Lake Victoria tech's even less tech, by the way. Yeah, but when I was talking about Ethiopia, I mean out of anyone who has their own unique events and stuff, they have the worst tech. I think the absolute worst is Gaza, if I'm not mistaken. Or this is what someone told me. They said they only had one tech. Is Transvaal guaranteed by Great Britain now? Yes, that should be live now. And that is going to change the metagame very, very strongly. One of the devs was joking that he watches my videos so he knows what to nerf, but this this kind of feels a little bit like that. But I think my understanding is Gaza has the actual least technology in the game. We have one tech in each category, which is a little bit rough. Yeah, Transvaal is guaranteed. That was an update as of today. United Tribes. Have you handled the new foreign investment mechanics so far? I think generally you want to invest in your own country. Building rubber in your puppets definitely makes sense. It wasn't in your game earlier today. Yeah, I mean, it was like 8 hours ago or something, or 4 hours ago, or something like that, that this got changed. Now it's guaranteed as part of the hotfix. They're just nerfing all the strats. What if we release a subject country? So we're planning on eventually doing one of these runs. We're just gonna release Mongolia and then Uzbekistan. But what if we do release a subject? I think it releases it as a puppet is the problem, and we want to do something like this. So I've been wanting to do this run for a while. I think it's just for the sake of a little bit easier of a time. Releasing Mongolia as well gives you something to maybe do. They start with 0 military. I think we probably start with 0 military too, huh? I mean, I don't see any. I don't think they reworked the states, but they may have reworked them because they're close to Central Asia. I think that this is the same as it was before, but most of our pops are in the base in here. Yeah, not a lot of pops overall. And so the question is will we be able to try and join Russia? I think it's going to be the strategy. Generally speaking, as Uzbekistan here. I'm not sure we can afford a construction sector, so let's do this. Even worse than Zulu and pressing. Did Zulu have... I thought Zulu also had 3. As Chile investing into Argentine agriculture is big brain. Interesting. Transvaal's the problem, not the 100k bankroll I could get from France in 1840. Well, I mean, it's part of the problem. Bower's guaranteed, literally unplayable, basically. They're just nerfing. One by one, they're just nerfing everything. I think it's fine, though. Kind of annoying that we don't have any wood, isn't it? Yeah, do we just not have wood? Oh, we have a little bit here. Alright. We don't have any tooling workshops, so maybe we start with that. And then do that. We do have Chinese tech to start here. I imagine stock exchange is the way. Unless we have like 0 infra. Not a lot. But we do have the decrees here. We're probably just going to look to play fast and loose. And see if something like this is possible. We have normal IGs, not Chinese ones. So we'll be able to kind of change some stuff up. That China... Why we instantly get an anti-Russian lobby? It's kind of annoying. We didn't want that. We did not want that at all. That was from shifting our IGs, so... How do you learn how to play this game? I don't know, you play a little bit, you think about the game or watch tutorials, then you play a little bit, and then you repeat, this type of thing. Hey, Rosio. Rosio, how's it going? Alright, we do want to add some authority things. I think that we just want to... do something like that. I think that's enough for a float. We want to be on the lookout for people who are IG leaders or IG attitudes or whatever that we like. This guy is not going to affect that type of thing. We know that the AI doesn't add military right now, though, so... And they're going to fix that soon. Leaves us in a little bit of a weird spot here. Because we could just, I think we could actually just take Greater Mongolia states right now. We don't have an interest in our own area yet. That's, yep, we gotta wait. Oman became meta though, since it gives 4 interests. Are we gonna do a Uyghur playthrough? We are going to do it at some point in time. And so I just wanted to test and see to what degree it was possible. We'll try and promise this, I suppose. The thing I don't like about Oman is if their starting ruler dies, this guy, the mean time to die is 75. Zanzibar gets released, and that's a big chunk of the infamy that you're paying for. And so if you do go for Oman, you have to go with Oman with the intention of annexing them as quickly as possible. Did you miss? I answered every question, so you must have missed me answering yours. You had to step away. Although I scroll up and I think it was quite a bit up. If you ask a question, leaving your computer immediately is probably not the strongest strategy. I did nothing for 100 hours till I learned something. Yeah, so one thing that's kind of Victoria 3, when you're just getting into it, one of the things that's maybe a little frustrating is almost everything you do doesn't do something immediately. It has a like downstream effect, and so in terms of getting like the dopamine from having an immediate response to the thing that you just did, you just don't get that unless you like. But if you understand the game better, then you like are understanding when stuff's happening that's giving you. Do we not have a diplo interest in that area? No, we don't have an interest in North China, nor can we get one currently. And these guys are going to improve relations with us until we are positive, which we kind of don't want. I guess we want to improve relations with Russia a lot, though. And then we actually can, like, fight through some of these guys. Right? At some point. I mean, we're not ready for that yet. Where's our capital? Is it here? Yeah, it is. We'll do something like that. Japan used to be really good for learning the game. I think that the AI is really aggressive towards Japan now, so it might not be so good. You can't throw up on your carpet, that's fair. That's a good reason to leave the keyboard. Thank you for the follow, Rosio. Big nice. You learned on Sweden and then Prussia. Sweden's a little bit rough. It's kind of a starter. Actually, it's not rough as a starter. As like intermediate, I guess it's probably more rough because run out of pops. Alright, as this tooling workshop finishes, we're gonna turn on that demand for it there. US is a pretty safe bet. I think it's a safe bet too. I just really don't like how many events that Reconstruction has. I think that's probably overwhelming for a new player. Victoria 3 is really intuitive and unintuitive at this game at the same time. Yeah. The problem is hey Toby, how's it going? One of the problems with Victoria 3, I think, is that your line is always going up, except for our line, Jesus. Our line's going down. Your line basically always goes up, kind of independent of what you do, so people feel like they're getting feedback that what they're doing is effective when, like, if it just always goes up anyways. And so it's easy to form the incorrect opinion about something. Being a small country in a large country, restart and reload if you do something wrong, trial and error helps. Belgium helps a lot since it starts well. Belgium is good, except for France also gets really aggro with you. I think that the best learning country is Spain, because Spain also doesn't have weird flavor that makes the game weird. Like, France, you're going to have a ton of radicals or whatever. Most of the GPs are, like, fine enough to learn on, though. Make a medium-sized video about economy changes. It's very hard to track down financial districts. You can track down financial districts using the new this building registry. That can help. We are making too much money. I think that we're going to... Do we have the tech for university? I think that this will give us the event that we want. Oh, what devout group do we have? I think we're Muslim, right? Yeah. They nerfed Muslim when it was already the worst religious IG in the game. Or had the worst IG bonuses. USA seems nerfed. USA is really strong. But the thing is that it's not that USA got nerfed, it's that the AI doesn't understand how to build military, like how it did before. They like bricked its like military building logic, in this current patch. And that's like absolutely crippling for the US, because the US adds the most military, and I think it doesn't even like adding conscripts up that much, but it'll just stay at 11 battalions for forever. And if it switches on to something other than national militia, it just actually gets wrecked. But yeah, I think Persia was good. I think Persia, now everyone's really aggressive against you, so... Wow, there's a lot of you in here. For like an impromptu, didn't prep for it stream. What's our strategic region even? Look, what is it even? Central Asia? Okay. So we can deck on some of these guys if we want to try and expand a little bit. The thing is like, I don't want to piss off Mother Russia here. A little bit scared of them. And by a little bit, I mean a lot of it. These guys are also stronger than us. I mean, we can conscript up enough to go after Chitral. But we don't have an interest there. Rip. The urban centers are also really important for getting your first capitalists. As far as I can tell, that's kind of how you ramp up initially, so the people who have zero capitals have some problem. Do you know why China collapses basically every game? It makes no sense to me. Well, China is... China right now, or as of up until 6 hours ago, had this really huge infrastructure malice because this used to cost infrastructure, and that was one of the reasons they would collapse. That was part of it, but they got rid of that. So I imagine they actually collapse a little bit less now than they used to. What makes the Dilemma the worst IG? Conversion isn't very... Oh yikes, we're gonna have to slot these guys out. Conversion isn't a very strong bonus, and 20% authority is kind of medium. So, what's the difference between government ownership and private ownership? You generally want private ownership. Government ownership will have a malice to the throughput bonus that is like pretty annoying. On top of kind of deleting money, the EOS bonus scales is reduced by 50%, and so this is a bit of a problem. I saw you in Spiff's live stream yesterday. Yeah, I was hanging out a little. Making Persia work with alliance with Russia? Yeah, I just think that Persia's not as good for a new player anymore as it used to be, is like kind of my main way of thinking about things. You know what? This actually seems a lot easier than it was before, because we're going to be able to, I think, just kind of build up a little bit of a military and go after stuff like Chitral, and then... Or not quite yet, because, we don't have the... If we go after Ulizhezh, I can't remember if that's stepping on Russia's toes. The thing is, we would actually just love to become a protectorate of Russia. I think. I would say in Russia's market, then yeah, we definitely can't dial them. You don't know why you can't transfer units? You sometimes can't transfer units if they're busy doing something. If like they're in the middle of doing a landing, you can't do it. Depends. Spain has decent population, decent tech, neutral IGs, and god tier states for mapping. Not that you need, you know what mappy is if you're learning the game. No, but the game feels a lot smoother and better if you have like the mappy states that like, you have some of these good states. It's also feels really nice having a really strong, unique company. And so the plan is I'm kind of just seeing how easy I think Uyghurstein is with the start condition, and honestly, it just looks, the question is like, when we go through here, will we just start getting slammed by Great Britain and Russia? And I don't know the answer to that question, and so I guess I kind of want to see it. But other than that, we're not, like, trying to play too optimally in here. We're rolling relatively well here. Yeah, we don't like everyone being anti-Russian. What's the hardest start in the game? Krakow or some weird German minor? Well, I used to think it was... I kind of think the Caucasian inmate might be the hardest, and Ikicha is really hard. Or they were. I think that Ikicha's gotten a lot easier with the new subject mechanics. I think there's maybe something you can do with that. But I think people who can't access the coast are harder. This is like the most important thing, and so yeah, these guys in here are significantly harder than like something like Benin, even though they like kind of look like the similar start condition. Italian miners, Ottomans, Denmark, Norway. I kind of like countries, when I'm suggesting like new countries for new players, I want countries that have access to every single resource themselves and are kind of self-sufficient. And with Sardinia, I think that if it fits that bill, the problem is that France is going to want Savoy at some point. So you do have some aggressive stuff. Ottomans are... I don't like Ottomans that much because Tanzimat's kind of hard to do for a beginner. And so it can feel bad. General is finally blowing up with 1.7. Yeah, definitely a little bit. We definitely have a lot of views right now, but it'll calm down after a week or so. So I think we're gonna research this up to 10K and then swap. We can also now roll market liberal landowners. So maybe we want to take a little bit of a look. Peer into the well. I guess we don't have too much of this, so maybe we can't actually do that too much. But I think that we can export. Can we export grain? We can spend export prioritization, and then can we get it to the high enough price just by doing that to trigger corn laws? Yeah, we can. There it is. Corn laws. Corn laws? Corn laws? Where are our corn laws? Corn? Corn? Why do we not have corn laws? Grain is expensive. Landowners are powerful? We don't have powerful landowners? Jesus. Well, we can do this at game's start at least. The last patch fixed that Finland doesn't see Nokia company if it don't have an interest in Scandinavia, even if the province needs the Finland reason. I have no idea. That's kind of a weird bug. Journalist, why are you rural folk? Are you talking about on the Discord? My favorite color is purple, and so I was landowners for a while, and then I was joking around with someone on the Discord, and I said that I was landowners because I was just being Thanos, because Thanos is purple. And then they pointed out, or I realized, that Thanos would actually be rural folk, so then I swapped to rural folk, and that's why I'm rural folk. Okay, so unfortunately we can't trigger corn laws. We're just gonna stop doing that. And then we should just be able to go homesteading here. And if we rev, we can fight it really easy. So, with two units here. Is there a strategy to become a protector without being forced to become a dominion later? I don't know the strategy to avoid becoming a dominion. I don't know. I need to do a clean reinstall of Victoria 3 because the game won't load. Do you know how to fix it? Will I lose the DLCs? You shouldn't lose the DLCs, but I would verify integrity of the files first, or whatever it's called. before just like reinstalling it. Can anyone tell me why the subjugate button's gone? I don't know, but we could take a look at that in a bit. I'm kind of keen on just kind of seeing how stuff with Russia develops, and I mean, they're cautious towards us right now. We have an attitude in that region, though. We will be able to just side with them in a play, right? So, do countries have higher SOL now? Russia is 10.3 SOL at the game start. Well, if they resolved, you might be onto something there. But if they resolved infrastructure issues with Russia as a result of manor houses not costing infrastructure anymore, that could be a reason. I think Anhalt is pretty bad too. Yeah, playing one of these random German things, but you could at least siphon off migrants. Where's the, like, the absolute smallest economy start in the game is, like, something Lippe or... This is the absolute smallest starting economy in the game. If you wanted to play it like that. I think, well, we maybe actually didn't want to do that, but we're also not super committed to this. We're gonna get a rev here, but this start seems like it'd be easier than vanilla because I think there's more opportunity to go through Central Asia here. We have to be able to play nice with Russia and this type of thing. But overall, this doesn't feel too bad. I think both these guys have defensive. So we'll just, do something like that. As Herat, I was not interfered with despite conquering most of Central Asia. Well, then that's good for us for this. Can we summon a loud car right now? Or real quick? We cannot summon them, but when it's summer and it's hot, they come out a lot. So it's loud car season. It's the time of the loud car. Any plans on ideas for the Panama run? That is actually something I was planning on looking at after we get to end here. Also, the inmate is not the hardest anymore because I think they get the same bonus as Circassia. Yeah, then also like you could just find a way to become a protectorate or whatever of Russia, maybe. The thing is, I don't know how you get a state with them. I don't know how you get to the coast. If you get Tiflis, you're fine. You're golden. But that's the thing. Did they nerf grain production a lot? Yeah, by like 40 to 50%. If the landowners just got powerful, you could retry for corn laws. Yeah, I think they start off powerful, so we could just get corn laws from the very start. We're not looking to do the perfect run. We're just like kind of testing to see how a run feels with these guys, more so than actually trying to execute a run. Because there's a few things we want to take a look at. Smallest economy, look at that mappy though, basically. Can you imagine if it was a split state with 24k guys? That'd be just awful. I guess we would want to revoke corn laws. Maybe that's what we should have led with, is the revocation of corn laws, something like that. Hey, I'm Bugwell, how's it going? Did you see the asceticism nerf? They gutted it? Yeah, I don't know why they nerfed Muslim. I don't know why they nerfed the Sunni ulema, because this was already the worst religious IG in the game. The best is Israel. I was thinking of doing an Israel run, but then I think the comment section would just get super degen super fast. And everyone would be really mad, no matter how I did it. I thought about releasing Israel and New York, though. Maybe that's the least offensive option. That would still be amusing to people, but I don't know. Someone made a mod of that for me, where you can release it at game start, and like the first comment on the mod is like, suggesting that the mod creator, who did literally nothing that was like implicative or of any sort of condoning of any action or anything like this, was just like, you love baby murder, and it's just like, Jesus, dude. Well, maybe people can't handle it, but it is the best. It is the best religious IG in terms of bonuses in the entire game. And I don't think anyone's really seen it before, but you get like plus 10% innovation and like minus 2% mortality, something like this. And so that's, yeah, I think that this is actually super doable. You just fight your way to the coast, and you get there eventually, and you try and play nice with Russia. I think eventually they'll have a play against these guys, and you could just join on their side of the play, and then you'll reset relations to genial, something like this, and then you go for conquering China after that. So I think that's fine. Any attention is good attention. Not well, kind of. The problem is if people start reporting my YouTube videos. If a bunch of people report my YouTube videos, that's a problem, because then I just get like auto-bobbed by YouTube. People on Steam Workshop comments are crazy. Yeah, but it like concerned me that he got that comment within 10 minutes of making the thing. I was just like, Jesus. But like the Muslim bonus is already like not good, so why do you need to nerf it? I guess maybe they wanted to be even-handed, but then they didn't nerf Catholic or the Protestant one. So something like this. I think that we have to re-roll this until, I think the way that you do the Panama thing is you're going to re-roll repeatedly until France, has a good attitude towards you. The idea is we're not going to take any states. I guess we're supposed to deck in South China. It's either South China or North Africa we're supposed to deck our first interest in. But you manage the Ukraine run, Israel should be fine. Yeah, but I take a stance on Ukraine. One of the problems is I am trying to avoid taking a stance on anything like politically with Israel, because I think it's a lot more complicated than people want to think it is, and that like also people seem way more jumpy about Israel or Palestine, like either. So what nation has changed the most in 1.7? Afghanistan, probably. It got split apart. Maybe Persia, but like, I mean, Russia, all of their territory got reworked. Now we have just this obscene Tula, which has 72 levels on their logging camps. Any thoughts on the religion rework? On religion rework, like how would I want them to rework it, or do I think they should rework it? I don't have an opinion. Change the name of the nation to Jewish Palestine, and everyone will be too confused to be toxic about it. I thought about creating one that was just a merging of the IG bonuses of Muslim and Judaism, and call it the single state solution, and have all the cultures of both be accepted or be primary. New meta starting with lowest tax. If you don't have enough money where high taxes will allow you to add construction sectors, which we don't have enough money, then you want to run low taxes. Because if you're not getting anything from the high taxes, you wouldn't want to run the negatives of having stuff. We forgot to try and pass some laws. Oh, can we do corn laws from the start here? We almost certainly can. That's right. So we just need to set this to that. And these guys are powerful, so we should just pop corn laws immediately. We do. So we're gonna get a corn laws boyo. So I guess we're not gonna pass anything until we get our market liberal dude. Having a lot of trouble building up manufacturing industries in small countries like Greece, since you really don't get enough money to snowball. Yeah, generally with the patch, it's hard to get the capitalists up and running if you don't already have some sort of economy, because my understanding is that most of the original capitalist reinvestment is coming from urban centers. So if you don't have any urban centers at the game start, or any financial districts, then you like your ball gets rolling really slow. Hey, Extremes, how's it going? The unrecognized nations because of getting recognition. Oh yeah, that's probably true. Those changed a lot too. People are also emotionally charged about Israel. That's kind of my impression. That it's a lot more. People are a lot more emotional about it than they are about. I still might do a poll for it, but like I don't know I also don't want to deal with like a lot of like crazy hectic like managing of like people inside my comment section either. No, we don't want this. Damn. It's not what we wanted. Happy Thursday, neutral good human. Big neutral good. Absolutely clapped by Great Britain in the Opium Wars. Yeah, the Opium Wars are a little rough if you haven't done them before. So you have devastation. Ukraine-Russia is a conflict. Conflict is not toxic. I mean, it's obvious to everyone who's the good side except for the trolls. That is why I'm like have done stuff for Ukraine where I have not for like either Israel or Palestine. Although, like, yeah, I mean, it's complicated. I have, like, opinions on it, but, like, I'm not, like, super... I think it's nuanced, and having a discussion while you're trying to focus on playing a video game is, like, probably just a bad idea, you know? Because someone can very easily, like, misinterpret what I'm trying to say while I'm trying to focus on, like, something else simultaneously. You know what I mean? Yeah, what are we doing? We're not trying to pass a law right now. We don't like that we're making money. We could pay out more. Oh, we can't because we don't have any government buildings. Rip the dream. This is what we wanted to do. And then... do that. We're not conquering any places, so... well, that's the plan. Non-controversial way to handle Israel versus Palestine conflict, Kingdom of Jerusalem. One of the problems with that is that there is Israel in game, so you're like adding something. So like if you're making a statement about the thing by like avoiding Israel too. You know what I mean? I don't know, I might just do it. But then also, like, I make, like, dark humor jokes about stuff. Like, when I'm doing the USA, I joke about, like, what went on with the Native Americans and, like, slavery and this type of stuff. And, like, I joke about sending children to the mines. It doesn't mean I'm, like, supporting, like, actual child labor. But the, like... I would not be able to... I feel like I would not be able to make jokes at all. We eventually do want to go off tenant farmers, I think. I think we're gonna go try and go laissez-faire here, though. Not really good against a rev. Alright, well, fair enough. You got us. We declared the interest in North Africa so we could try and buddy up with France. And we're going to be keeping an eye. France almost always forms a power block. If they form a trade one, then we're in good shape. If they don't, I think you're supposed to restart this Panama here. Yeah, single state solution is going to be controversial. I thought about doing, so like the most controversial way of doing it would be to start with like the UN partition in 46, and then open up the run with like a return state CB. Which, like, that's an example of dark humor, which, like, to me is not indicative of the fact that I think that, like, either side should have complete control over, like, the region, but, like, the comment section would not be able to handle that, I don't think. Give in to the lizard men, one state solution for the entire world. Yeah, don't UK fight you now if you go for Transvaal now? They almost certainly fight you considering they start out protecting them. Except, look, they just broke it immediately. But they start out guaranteeing independence, but they broke the one with Transvaal immediately. So maybe we'll take a screenshot of this and, like, leave some dev feedback at some point. Considering it's, like, barely into the game. But, yeah. Might be better to delay the Israel run until after the war at least. So one of the problems is I want to do a power block... I want to do a religious convocation run with someone, and I'm trying to figure out who to do it with. I might just do Muslim HRE, which is, you know, not offensive, I guess. And this is what we were looking for here. We're just going to get to join with France. I think we're just going to create a one-stack army, and that's all we're going to really need here for a while. Whatever, we can't. We can if we import stuff, but it's kind of... No, actually, we need to get that done before things happen, so let's, Wow, we can't import... Wow, that's really the only market we have access to? Oh, because we don't have... That's right. We don't start with the port. What do you mostly plan on doing the run? Converting everyone is going to be the idea. Yeah. People always use strawman arguments in bad faith. Yeah, this is like... yeah. Basically. They think that, like, something's just, like, super straightforward when it's not. It's just, like, not nuanced, and then, like, if I have to spend half the video trying to, like, unpack nuance, then, like, it's not gonna be entertainment. It's just gonna be this weird, like, tiptoeing around an issue that, like, everyone's aware of and thinking about, and, like, yeah. Yeah. Having nuanced opinions while playing a video game is a bad idea. Modern political streamers, hold my beer. Yeah, well, you know, I don't think they always do a very good job of it. I think trench foot for the follow, big nice, so... With the new hotfix, recognition seems pretty easy. Yeah, that makes sense. On the Tuwodros run, unfortunately, since we played it on an earlier patch, we can't form a power block even if we're a major power, unrecognized major, but I guess we'll just get recognition, it'll be fine. Is this port gonna finish in time for us to build an army? It's not. We should have just made it a regular. Mascara back down, I guess? Or did we not join? Alright, well, we want to improve relations with them either way. And then... A lot of people can't really tell if something is a joke if they're so strongly opinionated on the topic. Yeah, like, obviously my saying... Yeah, I agree. I think that is correct. I think my, like, saying about the, like, return state CB being, like, kind of like a dark joke is, like, I think a lot of people would not get that that was a joke. Or, like, some people, like, they understand that you're trying to joke, but for them, it's, like, it's illegal to joke about it. And it's like, bro, but, like... People are just, like, wildly inconsistent, because nobody makes, like, nobody gets mad at me when I joke about, like, what happened to the Native Americans. Not that I'm, like, joking in, like a dismissive or, like, making fun of them way. Generally, I'm joking about, like, how horrific it was. Or, like, I'm deadpanning like it was a good thing and not problematic, with the implication being, obviously, like, it was horrific. But, like, doing something like that in there is illegal right now. But it's a lose-lose situation, exactly. You take one side, you lose the other. You don't take a side, you lose both. Yep. So... Bum, 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 bum. We'll just pick this guy because he's disliked. Giuseppe, let him go. Oh no, he's politically unaligned. We actually shouldn't have done that. It's fine because we just like want to kind of check out some things. The Age of Caudillos. They should be easy to keep down considering we're only going to build 1 battalion for quite a while. Wow, we lost our tooling workshop. Rip the dream. Is Burma a play, or do they get bodied 100% of games? I think you could probably play Burma. Have you considered modding a Jewish Ethiopia nation? I mean, you could do that. Could change Tuodros's... It could just change the file to make that a Jewish run now. That may be something I could do. I also, like, kind of hate that I feel like I can't do something, so, like, working around it would... kind of makes me feel like mildly resentful, and then like at that point I just like shouldn't do the run, because if you're like you're doing something and you're like annoyed, you just like shouldn't do it in terms of making something, I think. Yeah, we can let these be purchased now, but problem is we only have aristocrats to buy them. I guess maybe we let a couple of these get purchased. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Or maybe we're supposed to... Yeah, it's probably fine. What's the verdict on command economy after the update? It's way more viable than 1.6, but it's still like D tier. Something like this. I'm not really super confident between like which is A tier, which is S tier, between cooperative and laissez-faire, but those are the two like good ones, and then these three are like all B tier, and then uber F tier for traditionalism. Joining to keep them good attitude, and we hope that this causes a catalyst to create a pro-country lobby. Or that they start doing something nice to us. Sending children to the mines is controversial? Yeah, basically. I have a weird question. How do I see my building queue? I can't fix it since the update. You click here, and you take a look. You might be accidentally have clicked on foreign queue. I suppose that's something you might have done. We almost have 10k progress. I think just so we don't accidentally misplay it, we're just gonna do it like this. I think we're gonna kick the furniture to the top. We don't need the steel tools or steel for the tools for a while. So Israel is too offensive, but Muslim HRE is fine? Yeah, that's 100% the case. And like, we could definitely make like jokes about like immigrants coming to like Europe, and it won't be too big. I mean, some people might get upset, but it won't be too big a problem. But like, people really, you know, get upset about the other stuff. Which, like, I think what's going on in Gaza is like terrible, but like, yeah. Animist religious convocation run. We thought about doing Animist, but Animist just has Catholic bonuses. If they had unique bonuses, it would be more interesting. But you know, I just don't think it's like there. Yeah, the teeth biting is real. What's your favorite start? I don't know. Germany's a lot of fun to play. You get a lot of dopamine when you go Germany, and then when you go Mega Germany. I used to like a lot smaller starts, but a lot of them are just kind of like it's just like the smaller starts are just like the bigger starts, except you have like the slower ramp up. That's like maybe not so fun. Can you convert everyone to atheist? Yeah, atheist Pope run is probably going to be the third option. In terms of Turkey forms real early. I thought it said Turkey. Quickest way to get recognition now is Japan. Probably rush the tech. It's probably not worth it to like go as fast as possible though. Especially considering the big reason to want it is because you would get a block, but now you can get a block way earlier because you can do it if you're an unrecognized major. Tobinator, thank you for the follow, big nice. So, can we get rid of some progress on this? Looks like, okay, looks like the progress is decreasing anyway. And then Yeah, we have virtually no investment pool, so I doubt that they could even... Yeah, they're not even buying this stuff. Oops, I thought we swapped this up. Rip. We might be able to export softwood at this point. I mean, this is gonna have to be focused hardwood as well. We're gonna export this to France with the hopes that this actually starts getting the thing and playing up. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to import iron this run. I wonder if they fixed the back button. They fixed the back button. Let's go, baby. Big excite. Just release a vid of Palestine at the same time of a vid of Israel. The comments would be very confused. I thought about that. I also thought about playing Gaza at the same time. Yeah. Is Japan better? No, Japan's like Jover. The AI is just super aggressive towards Japan. Like, I imagine it's like a pretty rough run. Hey Svanka, how's it going? Good afternoon. How you been? Even a good faith charitable argument by a highly educated person in private is difficult. The chance of it happening in public on the internet is hard. Yeah, especially because like people can be petulant and like just huff off and like act like they won. I don't know. General Mendez does not sound like the guy we want in charge, so. But also, we're super cool with the Conservative Party right now because we have a market liberal. Oh wait, we don't anymore. GG. Did he just actually just die? No, I guess. Why is this guy okay with what we're doing right now? Alright, well, fair enough. Probably just want to add a couple of universities, to be honest, to proc the event, and because we can't afford a construction sector, but we can afford 2 universities. Tengri Gaza run. Yeah, if there was any unique faith that's like not showcased, like the thing is no one sees the Jewish like religion in this game, and it's a religion that exists, and like it's also the best religion. And that's what I care about. I wish it was like something like a Tengri or random in the middle of nowhere and wasn't like in the hotbed of stuff going on. Yeah. You thought about doing a Zionist journal entry? Yeah, where you can pick where they get expelled to, whether it's Madagascar, New York, or you know, where they ended up going. Does Tengri exist in Vicky? I don't think it does. I think it's just U4 memeing. The reason nobody cares about what you said happened with the natives is because it's not a geopolitical issue and it doesn't affect them in some way. Yeah, I mean that's part of it. Like, but also like people are not as sensitive about what's going in Uyghurstan, which is current. You know, I guess it's not the hot topic, as Terribly Grim points out. So the truth hurts. Jesus. Legitimacy is not good. We will have to figure out some solution to that. I think we probably accept a lot of people. Could we invite an agitator that's maybe gonna agitate for something? We can invite the authoritarian. We can invite the free trade dude, the free trade bro. The cautious guy is maybe less useful because the entire theme is that we're not going to do stuff. I mean, this guy is an industrialist. He's gonna agitate for like monarchy though, and then we're just gonna be sad. I don't think we need the free trade agitation. One of my best friend's brothers is currently patrolling into Gaza. I wouldn't appreciate those jokes at the moment. Yep. I could understand that. Let's try this, I guess. This is with us on, like, minimum taxes. A little bit of a yikes. I guess we really just don't care about revving, though, because we only have one state. The state revs, it's kind of whatever. It's not the biggest deal. I mean, it's, like, kind of annoying. Here we go. Here we go again. Just, like, not the biggest deal. It is kind of annoying that we can't pass total separation. Alright. I don't think we're gonna go Nat Guard here. We don't want to go religious schools. We don't have access to the health system. I guess we're just gonna go dedicated police force here. Just because it's like easier for us to get through. We'll have to keep an eye on the infrastructure. Yeah, we're gonna have to start juggling. Everyone's favorite. So we're just not gonna finish buildings here. What country are we from? I'm from the United States. I live in Southern California. There seems to be a high latency for your streams. Is this by choice or a technical issue? If by latency you mean delay between when I'm doing stuff and when I see comments and this type of thing, it seems like the way I'm using Restream, it seems like the way it works is it sends to Twitch first, and then from Twitch it peels the Twitch view or the Twitch stream and sends it to YouTube or something. So there's like 30 seconds less delay on Twitch. Hellenic Greek run? Yeah, but Hellenic's not a religion in the thing. I wouldn't mind a Hellenic Greek run. That'd be sweet. Maybe we just need to actually just like do a Carthage religious run where like we make some Carthaginian religion up that like engages in actual baby sacrifice, because they kind of did that, but kind of not. It's a little more complicated. Yeah. Had to verify files because you were on the wrong checksum. Interesting. Yeah, verifying files if you have any sort of issue is kind of like one of the first things you want to do because it's low effort. Delegar Time Boss, thank you for the follow. Jewish IG has unique stuff. Yep. This is exactly why I wanted to make a video for it. Most people don't know, and it's also the strongest religion in the game. So like if you, yeah, yep. National supremacy, no thanks. We're very much not legitimate though. It's a struggle. Dedicon Codeco? Thank you for the follow. Do you think there should be different buffs for religions, kind of like EU4? There are kind of different buffs from religions in the sense that they have different IG bonuses. Like, I think birth rate's not that great. I think authority's not that great. So, in that sense, there's unique stuff. When you go atheism, you're effectively playing into the Intelligentsia instead. They recently nerfed the Intelligentsia by quite a bit. This bonus used to be 25%, now it's 15%, so... You can't be a theocracy with state atheism? You can. You can be a theocracy with state atheism. It's possible. You can rebuild them. You can't pass, state atheism on theocracy, but you can pass theocracy on state atheism, if I recall correctly. You just have to do it the hard way. The Great Gay Gamer, thank you for the follow, big nice. I didn't like playing minors because it really got to the point where it had hegemony strengths. Yeah, I'm also, to the person who said something about latency, I'm also behind on the chat, so I'm starting to go through it. Is GDP growth slower this run? So it's a little bit complicated because there's no GDP malus, so that makes it faster, but then there's also this government-owned throughput penalty to economies of scale, which will slow down the economy by quite a lot, and I'm not sure if it's actually faster or slower, because it could be faster. If you can always be on private ownership, it's faster, I think. I just want to industrialize early as Japan. One of the problems is industrialists are really slow to come up, and one of the ways that they get reinvestment at the very start is actually through the urban centers. So there might be, I'm not sure if this is the case, but there might be just some sort of strategy where you just really have to hyper-focus on, in the early game, making the urban centers profitable, because the urban centers do earn, these urban centers earn dividends that go into reinvestment, and these are capitalist reinvestment, or it's capitalist ownership, is my understanding, so I would be keeping an eye out for that. I think that maybe we can finish a building now? No, we can't finish a building. So we are trying out a Panama run. Can you do a Haiti run? I can't crack it. Probably. What's your opinion on the meme of fully state-owned industry run? I think it's bad, but I mean, I think it's a meme, so yeah. Alright, Grand Coalition. Moment of truth, guys. If this is a trade group, then we're in. If it's not, then it's Joe Rare. I think that this is what we actually have to like re-roll for. Grand Coalition is a sovereign empire. Womp, womp, womp. So I think this would be a restart. Because I think the goal is to get into France's trade league, and it has to be a trade union because they have to have a market for you to be able to siphon off migrants, which I think is an essential element for making this run work. So, but let's see if we can get into. I mean, I think we should be able to get into France's bloc. It's just not going to be helpful to be in their bloc. We could just try and pivot and just try and get to the Prussian bloc, I guess, here. And then we definitely do not want to complete that. Do we not have engines yet? I think we get engines with mech tools. How do we trigger corn laws on the new patch? It's really easy. You just have to export some grain and have the landowners be powerful and then gov. Generally speaking, it's, yeah, pretty easy. Grain price has to be plus 25, but that's a lot easier. As American tax money is going to Israel, that's why I care about it more. Yeah, so I care about that. From a moral perspective, I think the United States is morally responsible for what Israel's doing, if they're going to continue to supply the means by which they can do it. I also think it's, like, complicated, and, like, it's not just, like, someone beating up, someone else that was unprovoked, and also, when the government does something, or, like, when the Israeli government does something, or Hamas does something, that, the people on each side seem to think that the entire other side is responsible for the actions of its government, which is, like, insane. Banger Kings, thank you for the follow. And, like, it's just, like, really unnuanced, and you're just, like the guy who freaked out about the mod was freaking out about the Israeli flag, like, being in a mod, and it's, like, first of all, the flag's in-game, but second of all, like, if you think that the flag alone is a symbol of, like, hate and, like violence and, like, condoning every action of the Israeli government, like, I think that that's, like, bigoted. Like, you're just projecting and generalizing, like, everything, that they do wrong onto, like, the one symbol. Isn't it interesting to go monarchy and later to parliamentary republic? We could do that. Why is the church bad? Wait, what? Did I say the church was bad? Or Catholic Church. You just regular Catholic Church. It's okay. Like, I mean, birth rate's like, the thing is I think generally you get a lot more population growth through migration, and that birth rate is, like, not that good a modifier overall, and, like, authorities, like, plus authority is not the best modifier, but, like, you could play with it. Also, now you can get a lot of flat authority, which you could play into doing the percentage authority by going vassalization and power block if you wanted to play into it. And so there's maybe a little more room to, like, make it be useful, but I think that, like, the throughput bonus on companies is better. To be fair, the very strongest religious group, which was the Eastern one, got nerfed really significantly. It got cut in half in terms of its strong bonus, so or nearly cut in half or something like this. The Muslim one didn't need to get nerfed, though. That was just kind of unnecessary. Farms are strong in this patch. They convert to homesteading ownership from government very quickly. Yeah, that's homesteading seems way better than tenant farmers. This is kind of another major change. I didn't even cover that in my my metagame update, but homesteading seems considerably better now. I wonder why. New migration controls. We got a lot of kind of questionable sussy laws here. Sussy black laws. Early game is slow. You grow massively in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Yeah, as things start cranking along as ownership starts to be no longer public. Like, public ownership is just really, really bad, and so it's the function of being able to crank off of it. I joined a bit late, but why are you testing with Panama right now? We're just testing, so we want to do a Panama run where we just stay as Panama, and the real crux of the thing is, I think that specifically we have to re-roll, being able to... So I don't think France is going to be able to project enough influence onto us, but I think that maybe we can try and... We have to re-roll, I think, for France forming a trade league, but we're going to try and see if we can get into Prussia's trade league instead. So we'll actually import iron, glass, and from Prussia instead. And then we'll export wood to them instead. And we'll put export prioritization on the small arms and coal. And import prioritization on this. And so we're just trying to increase trade volume with them right now. Awesome to see the jump in viewership. Yeah, it's super nice. Definitely, like, it's the nature of, like, the thing, though. Whenever something gets patched, it's this huge crank up, and then it's going to drop until the next patch afterwards. Do you think government dividends efficiency should be higher, or conversely, there needs to be some private dividends balance? I think that, like, this throughput modifier is kind of just unnecessary. I think with it, it's really, really hard for you to, like, really ever want government ownership, which is maybe what they're going for. I don't really know what their intention is. I think laissez-faire and cooperative ownership are just clearly the best. I don't know if they think that's a problem or not. Yeah, we're just trying to increase volume of trade. We don't care as much if it's not profitable. We want to get inside their market as quickly as possible. And this is maybe one of the ways we can do it. If we could get a trade agreement, it would be a lot better for us. Again, I think it's not super ideal with these guys, but it is what it is. We're gonna put a... Does that not unlock motor industries? I thought that unlocked... Oh, ammo engine unlocks it, fair. Then I guess we're gonna put this at the top of the queue, and then we're on atmo into railways here. How do you call generalists? Like, you people don't call them literally that, right? Yeah, they do. I mean, my name's Peter, but no one calls me that. We call him Daddy, basically. Basically. Let's also import some convoys, maybe. The clippers. Again, doing the Prussian market, even if the Prussian one's not the most profitable. Oh, what are we doing? We can add ports. I feel stupid. We can add ports and finish some of these buildings. Is it possible to avoid or break with guarantee independence of this patch? It's very difficult to grow up with this. Yeah, you have to damage relations really aggressively. We're getting guaranteed right now. You have to damage relations really aggressively, look for opportunities. I think you get additional liberty desire if you can get people to support your independence. And so this helps. Corn laws in Russia. I think Russia is one of the few that can't really do it that well. Switch to Twitch for less delay. Immediately got greeted by 4 ads playing for a total of 1 minute 40. Yeah, sorry. I just have it on like whatever the default ad settings are. Any turbo tips for the new patch? Public ownership sucks. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yo, Shiny. Hey, Ultrabeat, how's it going? Yeah. China got not instant exploding after the hotfix. Yeah, I think that the hotfix is like, probably a pretty important one for that. I think that that's one of the primary drivers. Although I think China's probably going to explode more easily just generally now, but... You should do the stream in Spanish only? ¿Por qué? Porque no los dos. Yo soy un gato. ¿Dónde está el baño? Mucho gusto. My Spanish is not that great. Homesteading being good, universal suffrage is dead before getting rid of peasants. Yeah, this is kind of a thing. It depends how much, like, I mean, maybe you want to play into the rural folk a little bit. Anti-British League established foreign investment rights with Netherlands. We do not want to give anyone foreign investment rights. If you have no population, giving foreign investment rights is like shooting yourself in the foot. It seems really bad. What kind of power blocks are worth joining? Ones that have good principles. Like if someone has the construction principle early, but it seems really difficult to leave a block, so maybe reconsider joining it if you can reasonably create your own in a nice time period. Don't exports reduce the power block's leverage over you? Don't you need to become dependent on them? But the leverage would be massively increased if we get a trade agreement. I'm trying to get a trade agreement. They won't accept a trade agreement. And part of this is volume of trade. Also, it doesn't increase, we can increase dependence by exporting to them. I think it's the, like, proportion of our buy orders that are dependent on them versus proportion of the sell orders, like something like this. Maybe we could just take a quick look at leverage, although... Is this really the UI we get for leverage right now? Wait, what? Bro, I would like to know how leveraged I am. I'm slightly leveraged from the British. I have a lot of unclaimed leverage. This tooltip also will not lock, man. No, the UI is definitely like not the best for that. We can finish the clothing company. I'm trying to keep a watch on the infrastructure and not finish stuff that we won't have enough infrastructure to do. So we're gonna do this. We are starting to have a construction malice from turmoil, which is not ideal. I think we could upgrade the Louis Philippe. Okay, we'll take him in. Yeah, sure, why not? Can we enact free trade that easy? I think we might be able to. I think we definitely want free trade. Oh, hell yeah, let's do it. I'm just gonna say he can say what he wants. I'm not 100% on the export thing, though. If I understand leverage correctly for joining the trade league, then you should maximize imports. Yeah, but the point is we want to get a trade agreement. A trade agreement massively increases the leverage. Like, we're not worried about the leverage at this point. Once we have the trade agreement, we could, like, swap stuff around if it's going to make a huge difference, we think. Is Israel the only country in Vic 3 with the Jewish state religion? Yep. They are the only country. I would have to make a custom one, which is tacit to saying that I don't think that Israel should be played. Which is, like, kind of what I was mentioning earlier, but, like, I hate that it's, like a vibe. But yeah, we are out of labor is the problem. And the fact that maybe we shouldn't subsidize the trade center here. I think that we're starting to run into some problems. I think we just have to delete the unis, actually. Little error in judgment, I think. I don't think we can afford to do that. Can you call it Karpov? Because I know it gets you off. You can. I don't support Karpov's political opinions, though, which makes me feel some kind of way. Really like Karpov, the chess player, though. How to play Greece this patch without joining a power block? I would cozy up with Austria or Russia and then look to fight Ottomans. Assuming your goal is to form Byzantium, right? Which is kind of everyone's goal. As Greece. His name is John Generalist. Don't let him fool you, exactly. What's wrong with public ownership? Two things. So, the government dividends have this massive malice in terms of stuff. Our malice is not like occurring. We're on laissez-faire, so we shouldn't have the malice. But the way it works is, well, we don't have profitable buildings, so we actually have a hard time showing you here. Whenever stuff is going to government dividends, which we are not receiving government dividends, it's annihilating money. I don't think we could show you the bonus or malice without actually having some amount of government dividends present. But it's pretty significant, except on laissez-faire or cooperative ownership, but even then, you have the throughput penalty from economies of scale. See, we actually have 0 economies of scale bonus because it's getting scaled down as a result of it being nationally owned. Yeah. Do you get to the point of people building on your country, you might lose pops and resources? Yeah, we're not going to allow anyone to build in Panama, because we're basically going to have 0 labor. We would love to be able to build in someone else's country, though. That'd be fantastic. Is foreign investment rights a good idea with a nation with a large population? I think so, but I'm not 100% sure. Why are the Panamanians starting to starve? I think we have some problems because of reasons. Yeah, let's do this. Maybe that'll solve our problem. I guess maybe we can make a little bit of grain. The problem is we also really want unused arable land, so... Wait, why is it at minus 75? Alright, well that's gonna crank up the SOL quite a lot, actually. Interesting. Oh, you know why? Because they all just got pulled off the subsistence farms. We completely ran out of, like, grain in our market. That would be my guess, actually. Solid 7.7, yeah. The struggle of playing with someone with, like, basically 0 pops. I don't think we want the anti-British League to be strong, so... Doesn't a trade agreement let you take pop? Not a trade agreement. We're not going to give foreign investment rights to someone else. We would accept foreign investment rights, but we're not going to take them. Looking to not complete buildings, because we don't want to go over... Oh, we actually can afford the infrastructure. Our steel won't do any... Or actually, I think we could turn on the steel. Yeah, okay. And now we can start producing some amount of steel, not a lot. And we're importing the iron. I thought we were swapped to iron frame. The pickaxes. This run seems hella painful. It is a little painful. What are your opinions on the Israel-Palestine war? We kind of discussed this earlier a little bit. I guess not in super depth, but... Oh, we're just losing so much money now. The ports, they're so expensive. They're so expensive. The problem is we're gonna have this exact problem with the railroads, too. Feels bad, man. I guess maybe we can only afford 1 port. And maybe we can't afford an army. I mean, this is mainly so we can beat revolutions, so let's maybe get rid of it. How about command economy? Command economy is not very good because public ownership is not very good. My opinion on the Israel-Palestine war is that it's complicated and has history going back like 70 years, and people act like it's just like this singular event. And that, like, most of the discussion on it's not particularly productive. Because it's a lot of, like, mudslinging and outrage. Okay, without that other port, we do have to juggle. Got any tips for getting communist China early? I don't think it's really possible to get it early. You have to, like, not have a lot of peasants. Helps a lot. You can maybe do some gimmick where you get, force a communist onto, like, yeah, you'd probably have to force a communist onto armed forces that's reasonably strong, and then abdicate to them to go council republic. I went from LF to agrarianism to LF a couple hours ago. You must really take into account the loss of government dividends or you'll have a really bad time. Yeah. I mean, we're not losing on dividends, but it is a bit rough. Yeah, they did change the infra. Bro's importing iron? Bro, I can't make iron. The run is scuffed, though. Importing iron is really rough. Yeah, we'll give him Grifter. Actually, this is so unnecessary for us to give him Grifter. What is this? Holy Batman. Let's not have this. We would really love to have a... Oh yeah, smell you later, dog. Smell you later, Grifter. We got you for the free trade, now we're out. What would be the high value generating buildings you could build for low pop? Generally the manufacturing stuff's a lot better. Which is kind of what we're trying to do. We're kind of trying to export it, but like the problem is we would really love to get into a trade market. Yeah, we could go with an abolitionist intelligentsia. We'll take the legitimacy. That's gonna knock us into another tier. Everyone's super happy with us right now, because we brought SOL up from 7, except not really. Oh, we have slavery? Ugh, yikes. Kinda awkward now. I guess we'll just do it with this percentage. End of the corn laws. Let the grain trade begin. Sorry, landowners. Move aside. Oh, did we finish a building? Please tell me we didn't. Okay, we didn't. What's the purpose of juggling? So we don't have enough infrastructure to support more buildings, but we want to make use of the construction we have. Wait, why do we have an extra 5 construction? Oh my god. We have an engineer when it matters. Whoa. But the purposes of juggling is that, wait, I hope we're not paying on construction goods. No, we're still not. The purpose of juggling is to be able to make use of your construction without overwhelming your infrastructure. That way, as soon as you get railroads, you'll just finish all the buildings. Are your tutorials economy focused, especially good for learning the game? I think so. I mean, were there any drastic changes with the DLC? There were, but there are no new guides out for it. Most of the stuff holds up like 80 to 90%. Why do we care so much about Mappy as a one-province miner? I'm glad you asked, because the Mappy, when we are importing stuff, like iron to feed into our steel stuff, it is affected by Mappy. That means we will get a higher price on something we are dependent on imports, and when we're exporting, it will do the same thing, where we will drive up when we export. We'll drive up the market price, but we won't drive it up by as much as we would like to influence the price and profitability of the balance in our buildings. And so if you are a single state run, but you are importing or exporting a lot, it matters a lot. So... Engineer gaming, basically. Is there any chance you could do an Ottoman Empire anytime soon? I probably would not be doing one soon. I'd be maybe down for some multiplayer, but like right now there's like a lot of videos and stuff I like want to work on. It looks like we can maybe get a trade agreement sometime soon. We really want to get into their block. Do they up construction from 10 to 5? No, we have an engineer. Are the fish insane after grain nerfs? Yes. Fish meta's so back. Equilibrium price of wheat went up because the subsistence farms put out half as much grain, and on top of that, all the farms produce around 40% less. But they're a good late game because their labor-saving PMs are really efficient, but like early game you kind of don't want to be building grain, but this business is way more efficient than it was before, so they're pretty efficient per worker in the late game. We will probably use if we're going to use our arable land instead of leaving it unused, we'll probably actually use it for grain farms to help pull up SOL at some point. Maybe we could afford something else. I think we'll just reduce taxes here. Yeah, that's probably the correct choice. Well, railroads and no ports. Ports are not very efficient on a... We actually had one more port. They're not super efficient on a government income basis. So one problem is that we really don't have a lot of workers, and the anchorages also take up 5,000 workers, if I recall correctly. And the total number of workers we have is 35,000. So if we spend 2/7 of all of our workers in the ports, it's going to be hard for us to like have a good economy. Why isn't he finishing the buildings? He asks. We don't have enough infrastructure to support them. Railroads give much more infra per worker. Yes. Why are you building wide, not tall? Because economies of scale will not benefit us in the same way as economies of scope until we have like over level 30 in a building, which we're nowhere near. We're not going to be able to export to support that as enough. I mean, I guess we'll do this. Can we get mutual investment with anyone? No. Or can we get investment rights with anyone? We're about to hit plus 50, which is going to be a moment of truth in terms of if we can get into the thing for them. Trade agreements feel too hard, maybe. I think this just doesn't work if we don't get a trade agreement. Were fishing wharfs nerfed alongside grain? No, so fishing wharfs are just insane now. Vic 3 edging, this is juggling, basically. It's the art of the... An invitation to power blocks. So, we are going to check. If they've added the market cohesion or the market one, we'll actually join on here, but... we can't tell, so we're gonna say no. If they add a market principle, we would be more than happy. In fact, let's check what France is up to in terms of their block. No, we can't tell yet what it's gonna be. Trade union buff would be very nice for workforce ratio. Indeed it would. It very much would. How far away from railroads? Almost have it. And then we'll put the motor industry on top so it can finish immediately after the railroad. And then we won't have to micro this godforsaken, like, queue, like, anymore. Can focus a little bit more on chat. I've missed some comments. There's a lot of you guys in here. Started building Suez infrastructure? No, please, no, not like this. I'd be so sad. I do think they, like, I think enough devs watch my stuff that they do tend to nerf stuff if I think it's really good. Like, I thought China's IG bonus on the military, giving minus milligoods costs, was really good, and then it was, like, promptly nerfed before I ever got a chance to test on the, like, really pushed version. I think we're going to push for mech workshops pretty early here, because we're going to be really manufacturing focused. And it's got some labor-saving PMs, and that's going to be useful. I mean, I suppose pharmaceuticals and egalitarianism could be good. We're actually already not spreading in that direction, so why don't we do this in the mech workshops? I think that maybe that's a little bit better. But, like, moment of truth here when we get to 50 with them, because hopefully we'll be able to get a trade agreement, but maybe we won't. NKR and Dude Man's 44, thank you for the follows. Isn't it a good opportunity to build in other countries? 100%. If we could get an agreement to build in other people's countries, we would. I think if you want to let people invest in your country, probably, I'm not really that sure. If you have a lot of pops, which we don't, so that's why we would not want to do it. And then you want to invest in mainly your own country, but if you don't have a lot of pops, investing in other people's would be good. Fishing wharves also really good for depeasanting. Yeah, absolutely insane. Panama, an interesting choice. Yes, bold choice, Cotton. Do they watch enough to remember Happy Thursdays? Yes, but some of them might realize that the entire gag is a lot funnier if they're not wishing Happy Thursdays. If they wish Happy Thursdays 100% of the time, the whole me being fake outraged about them not wishing a Happy Thursday thing is like a whole lot less funny, right? So... Or I would be less amused if it's like Happy Thursday every single time. But, you know, it's got to be balanced. Defining the meta just by talking, I think to some extent, yeah. Maybe they have an inside joke about not wishing Happy Thursdays on purpose. Well, it was either Mercy or Pelly says they roll a dice. Which I think is hilarious if that's actually what goes on internally, but I can't imagine that that's true. I don't think that anyone's rolling a dice for deciding whether or not the Thursday will be happy. Oh baby, let's go. We kind of like this engineer dude though, to be honest. But I think we want to go total separation. We have a decent amount of migration attraction as well. Not quite enough to push things over the edge. We really need more labor saving PMs. Check Great Britain's block, they had 12 mandate. Wait, what? They have market unification. They have market unification. We're so back, boys. It'll still be a while before they get the thing. Was super good for us. Also, we assume Great Britain's probably going to defend us in the wars and stuff now as well. I think that mathematically is better, but we just get lucky anyways. I just want to see what kind of migration we can get. What countries is best to build abroad if you have the rights, and if you were able to pick small ones or large ones? I think that kind of what you care about is less maybe the size, although if they have resources, like it's probably always worth it to invest in gold and oil specifically, but I think that one of the metrics you use is you like look at what companies they have, and you build those. And maybe that's part of how you navigate the whole thing. Like, so if they're going to have a construction bonus of 32% on the wood, and you don't have this locally, then building wood in Prussia would be pretty good. I think in general, you're probably going to get more out of people who are going to have more peasants, generally. What if it's a sad Thursday? I have yet to see them wish a sad Thursday in a dev diary. Got any gamer tips for getting majors to support your independence? Improve relations with everyone. Nobody cares for you. It also helps when your laws are similar. So if you are playing as Korea and you get your laws similar to the Western powers, that'll probably help. But I would also look at the tooltip and see why. Maybe they don't want to help you because you're unrecognized. I don't know the best solution with that. But Korea, well, at least last patch, you used to be able to deck on Great Qing as soon as Great Britain reacted negatively to the Opium Wars, and then if you maxed out your conscripts, when you decked on them, you could actually pull Great Britain into your war, which would be the easiest way. Oh, but you can't declare war at the start, maybe? I don't know, we could take a quick look at it. I'm like, we're kind of like, getting done what we wanted to get done here with Panama, so... Or we kind of have gotten done. We've like reached the point where we're like, hey, we could re-roll aggressively for either them getting market unification or France forming a market one. I think that going for Prussia's is maybe a little bit weak. Prussia's thing, so yeah, let's take a look at Korea then. Maybe save this, maybe come back to it. Probably not. We kind of just wanted to test out some things. Company specialization will be a new meta in multiplayer. Yeah, especially if you just share a market, because multiple GPs can be inside the same market now. So, hey General, I'm playing Russia. I'm struggling forming the Russian Republic. Oof, ridding the gentry assembly of power. Any tips? You can watch my streams like playing as Russia a little bit, but a lot of what I did was abusing the abdication mechanic to force through laws I wanted. Which is what I would recommend. If there's a revolution currently ongoing, and you abdicate to it, or you resign from office to it, it will enforce the law that they are agitating for. Do we have to have an interest down here? Not like this. Get out of here with that. I guess you would, before you unpause, actually want to do the thing. So you don't get the private queue putting something in. But we just kind of want to see if you can do the... You could open the same way. Oh, shoot. I think if you do that in the right order, you might be able to get enough autonomy to be able to demand independence at game start, and then sway in Great Britain, maybe. Let's try it again. I didn't think they were going to accept one of those. You need 90 liberties there? Well, we almost got 90 right there. So now they're not cordial anymore. So maybe we can get the third one. They might accept. So we have a roll now. We could save scum this. Right, because on different days they will accept different things. And, like, if you don't want to save scum, you could just restart the run here. Trying to join the English power bloc as the Netherlands, but couldn't get my own country's leverage down. Any tips? Get as many diplomatic agreements as you can with them. Is there a way to dissolve a bloc? Yes. You have to decay people down to being not a major power anymore. Okay. We'll wait till a different day. Am I supposed to focus on building government buildings and leave everything else to pops? No, generally you want to spam buildings that produce construction goods. This is kind of a gross oversimplification, but... Alright, we're on the 13th. I mean, eventually... The point is eventually they will not accept that. So, you know what we're going to do is we're actually just going to switch sides. Just to actually accept it, because in theory that 52% eventually you can roll it. Demand state reduces no, demand state doesn't reduce relations. It's like the only thing that doesn't have a negative effect when they refuse. But we're just going to do... We know that this, like, can happen, so what we're just going to switch countries so we don't have to keep reloading, because we're testing anyways instead of actually trying to do something. The patch has been fun but crazy. I've seen Couch forming your Indonesia run. Interesting. Can you no longer re-roll for countries' attitudes towards you under 1.7? This is my understanding. But now... Oh, we need at least 90. I see. Sorry, I thought that this was enough. And then here, I don't think that they... this doesn't drive down... our stuff. Okay. Yeah, I guess you probably can't do it before the Opium Wars, huh? Considering we're probably trending up. I mean, our Liberty Desire is, like, stuck where it is, but, yeah. Why can't we demand reduction of autonomy, though? Oh, because we're already, the lowest level. But maybe we can do something like this once the Opium Wars gone changed. I mean, we can, expel diplomats. So now this is increasing at the very least. Do you know why I can't build in your subject? I'm Qing, still unrecognized, and the vassal in question is Gaza. I have no idea why you wouldn't be able to build there. In your country. Oh, Great Britain always moves their interest out of North China, man. Yeah, I don't think you can re-roll. You got rejected from Qing, is this what you want? Yeah, I'm trying to increase Liberty Desire. I'm trying to see if you can, if you could still deck on them really early. Not seeing the UK in here. Also not seeing a response to the opium ban. I don't know what's going on with that. Did they just not ban opium? Maybe because we swapped to them, they didn't ban opium. We're gonna try and do this. Where can I delete my save games? You can just delete them from the folder. I forget where exactly it's located though. I actually sometimes have a hard time finding it. What? Genial Great Britain, cordial relations. What's that about? They responded favorably to the opium ban, not like this. I think that maybe you could get support independence as Korea. I don't know about trying to re-roll it so many times because we don't want to do a Korea run anyways here. It literally tells you can't build in foreign states, just straight up, categorically. Jewish IG bonuses. Jewish IG bonuses are really strong. They give minus mortality and plus effectively 2 levels of literacy or education institution, which I think is pretty good. If I find a way, they'll nerf it, not like this. Would Tibet be an interesting start? Certainly more interesting than it's been in the past, because you can get your autonomy reduced and maybe try and weasel your way to the coast through Burma or the Sikh Empire. And then you could free Tibet. Is the EIC to India slower now? I think so. I think that a lot of the ownership of buildings here is actually not domestic. I think the EIC was significantly nerfed because I think they gave ownership of a ton of the buildings over to Great Britain in terms of foreign investment, like this. Owned by manor houses of Great Britain, manor houses of Great Britain. So, like, if we look at the ownership, GDP ownership heat map, you know, there's pretty big chunks in a lot of our really high economy states that are owned by Great Britain. I suppose it doesn't look too cataclysmic, but, you know. Anything that's landlocked in general is hard, though. I feel like more tools are needed to play as a puppet. I mean, you got a lot more tools. Is leverage hard to get compared to customs union in 1.6? Yeah, it's harder to join a customs union. Also, that you have to have, that was kind of our Panama conundrum at the start. You have to, I think you have to get inside of someone's customs union, and the only way to do that is, I mean, Great Britain adds the market unification principle a fair amount, but you either need that or France to do a trade league, I think, at game start, and then if you don't get that, you'll re-roll. Yes, you do need stock exchange for foreign investment. That is true. I forgot this. Alright, we're gonna have a quick look around Spain, I think. And then probably going to be, unless we wanted to take a look at something else in particular, the freaking Indian territories in one of my games actually popped off and got all of this land. I don't know if they used the request territories interaction with the USA. Let's actually swap over them real quick. Because people always ask about this. But do a Tripolitania run? Bruh, no, we would just do a Tunis run if we were gonna play in that area. Yeah, I'm still not sure how they got all that territory. They got like 8 states or something. I don't know how they did it. Any trick to increase your autonomy as a puppet? Get a lot of people to support your independence. That's what we did with Krakow. We do have the very strong Duro y Campagna. Asturias needs a level 3 coal mine. The sort of classic start. I mean, I guess this is kind of just exactly the same as it's always been. We've done this run before a few times. I think we're gonna go landed voting, just to start. They got Kansas, Indian Territory. Yeah, I don't know what mechanic is doing it, but USA has less Texas in the GDP than Texas in the same run. Yeah. What's the actual next stream run gonna be? We're probably gonna pull it. I don't know if we're gonna make it between like the Persia, Afghanistan, and UK, because we want to do all those runs. Maybe do one of the two on record and the other. I mean, maybe between Persia and Afghanistan, because I think we want to record Great Britain for videos. But yeah, just super strong is the Spain like territory. Go for the company straight away. I think we can force corn laws. Yeah, we just have to put export prioritization and have landowners powerful and in gov, which isn't too big a... Like, here's our corn laws. And then we can get a market liberal as well. So we shouldn't have even started landed voting here. The thing is I want to do a step-by-step tutorial for like beginners, and I want to just focus on the eco, so we probably wouldn't even proc corn laws immediately, because we just don't want to, we want to talk about like all the same stuff and then think through it. How dividends a tax on tax apply on gov buildings? It doesn't. So taxes go down. For those of you like in terms of like what you really do in terms of metagame, the metagame is really about bankroll. It's the bankroll meta. And so bankroll is according to taxes. So if we come in here and we go to France and we say, hey, can we not bankroll at game start? Bruh. Okay. We cannot bankroll at game start. But another bad thing about government ownership is bankroll is based on how much taxes you have. They're gonna get rid of this agreement like instantly, I think. But here we have 3.6, but the other tooltip says 4.9. But if we do this, it'll increase to 6.5. And the reason why is the bankroll is based on how much you are taking down in taxes. I don't think it includes government dividends. So an entire another reason that government ownership sucks is because the metagame is really just about attracting bankrolls and then popping off really, really hard. And you don't pop off as hard if you have government ownership. What do corn laws do? They give you access to a market liberal landowner, which allows you to pass, laissez-faire and free trade really, really easy. I feel like a bad player for needing to do bankroll meta. I mean, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. It's like the easiest way to pop off really hard. I don't think it applies to consumption taxes. So 6.5k. Yeah, still 6.5. So it's not applying to, it's implying to poll income but not consumption taxes. So basically an industrial aristocrat? Yeah, exactly. So almost everyone, it's like super useful for passing, like with Spain. Let's switch back to Spain and like look at our condition and maybe just let's show off the market liberal thing. But this is just, like you just do this 100% of the time with people. I mean, we'll just do this for now. These are not really the things we would want to be taxing, but it's fine. Taxing wine's probably going to be super meta. We'll see how that shakes out. I guess we don't really need the coal immediately. This is just a huge leak. But we just kind of want to get going. And show off some of this stuff. Bankroll meta, is that invading China, demand bankroll? No. That is, that's war reparations. Bankroll is the positive foreign agreements. So, let's show what we mean. So, where are our interests here? Okay, so let's say we declare on Portugal to make protectorate. Right, then as Spain, what we do is we offer a reverse sway in exchange for... Oh, we can't ask for it because we have bad relations here. We can ask for it as the UK. So here we say, screw you, Portugal. Except we have a defensive pact here. Oh my god, we're just picking every option that, like, doesn't work. Morocco probably has an interest in Iberia, right? No, they don't. Alright, rip the dream. The point is you can reverse sway for Diplo agreements, one of those being a bankroll, and that's, like, finding these spots to get GPs to bankroll you with the reverse sway. So instead of, there should be one that says Diplo agreements, and you get the bankroll from there. And then they pay you according to your tax income. And so when you start getting really big, you actually bleed them down into bankruptcy really, really hard, and it's super abusive. But this is how you can have like a third of your income coming from bankrolls, which allows you to really like crank up construction in a disgusting way. And it gives you like an amount equal to the size of your economy. Well, what triggers the corn laws? Yeah, the high price for grain. And a couple other things. The landowners have to be in government. You have to be, I think, on export prioritization or isolationism. Landowners have to be powerful for that. But if we just wait a little bit, we'll get the market liberal. Yeah. We just got France into some trouble. Well, we'll probably get the modern conservative. If we don't get him immediately, that's like not too big a deal. But then we'll probably be on our way out. Because I was thinking that like maybe we need to practice. All right, here's what we're talking about. So we get this modern conservative event. Where, okay, you can see what guy we have now. We have a traditionalist. This traditionalist does not support going laissez-faire. So if we take a look at some of this law, we will see doesn't support this laissez-faire business. We will get this character, an inspiration for our age, here, that is a market liberal. Market liberal does support laissez-faire, and so we'll use the grant leadership interaction. You do need voice of the people, so now he becomes the leader of the IG, replacing the traditionalist guy, and then we'll stop passing this law, and instead we will be able to go on to laissez-faire because now our landowners support it. And so this is something you like definitely want to do. Someone on Discord mentioned that you can't be cut down to size if there's no land subject infamy you gained in the past 10 years, so you can go infinite infamy if you conquer and instantly give the land to a subject. Yeah, this is kind of how it works. I'm not sure if they can't just straight up can't declare the war goal on you, but yeah, you can feed to a subject. But you can't do the resetting anymore. You can't get enforced on and then reset it, so... If you privatize the building and go to the 50k, 150k that it says in the tooltip, it doesn't seem that I get anything from privatizing. I believe it goes into the investment pool, not to the treasury. Yeah. But in order to be reverse sway, do you need to be kind of big? Yeah, you do need to be a little bit big. You can make yourself look bigger than you actually are, because they will take into account conscripts. by having a really large conscript army, and it only calculates the attack and defense of the army, so you can just do 100% cannons, which for most of the game will have higher offense. And so they will be scared of like this 33, which is why for a lot of... it might be the case that National Militia is now meta because it allows you to reverse sway stuff a little bit better because you can have a bigger fake army. More than big, it can be good to go join one side and swap back to the other side. 1.7 easily best update, yeah. You don't need export priority if you have isolationism, yeah. So I think that they changed it in 1.5 or 1.6. It used to be that you couldn't do it on isolationism. Is laissez-faire more meta because the AI is less likely to invest in other countries after the patch? Laissez-faire was really meta before, and not because of that, but because laissez-faire doesn't delete money. It gives 100% to the government dividend reinvestment, except right now it's bugged, but this is on the list of things for them to change, so this might be fixed within the next week. I don't really know. I don't think it's that high a priority, but when stuff is reinvested, it is not subjected to a malus, but when something is spat out as dividends, so anything that's not reinvested and gets spat out as dividends, the dividends are subjected to a malus, so it deletes money. And that's why laissez-faire is better, in addition to laissez-faire having a free money modifier. Now, laissez-faire can potentially effectively delete money if it just makes the investment pool grow out of control with, like, not ever privatizing buildings. And so you need to keep an eye on this, especially if buildings are still publicly owned and then they still won't privatize the buildings. This would be a problem. I'm going to keep my eye on this over the course of a couple runs. But this is, like, not a theoretical thing. This is, like, how does the game implement the thing? But cooperative ownership might be better than laissez-faire just because it forces stuff to be privately owned, in this case by the workers. So, now do you just wait for the agitator? Yes, and you will only roll the modern conservative event once. You will roll an event, so you have to pick the correct option, which is a hero for our age. Yeah. It's usually one of the first two events, but yeah, conscripts are very buggy. I don't know if you've had it, and I don't mean negative numbers since the one was patched. Yeah, conscripts, unfortunately, will conscript. If you conscript one army up of conscripts, it'll conscript them all up. It's kind of obnoxious. And it seems to be less so if all of entirely one state is assigned to one army, but it still seems to have problems. I'm not sure. Yeah, he generally dies quickly. He dies even faster. So one of the reasons they die quickly is because anyone with a green background, in terms of your agitator or your historic guys, these guys with green backgrounds, they are historic. And when rolling random events to decide if a IG leader dies, historic characters are exempt. So the only character that can die from a random event or a random tick update thing that decides whether or not the IG leaders die, for us here in Spain, is actually this market liberal landowner. He's the only guy who can die. So it might even make sense for us to exile some of the worst guys so that they can die to the event. You could, in theory, just save scum it if you want, but this is something I found out fairly recently. You've had him die 3 days, yeah. I don't think it's that it's scripted. I think it's like this thing I'm talking about here, where he just dies very quickly if you have a bunch of green dudes. How exactly does the amount of money spent in the private queue is calculated? I don't know. I can't tell you precisely how it works. I know that there's a lot of logical things that prevent them from investing. Like, they won't invest if there's not enough infrastructure, and generally once your economy starts getting really big, that starts to be a little bit of a problem, because they'll invest in a railroad, and then once the railroad finishes, they'll invest in like 16 infrastructure worth of stuff, or however much the railroad gives, and then they'll wait for that to be finished. But your economy is the size where what they need to do is they need to actually just add like 200 infrastructure worth of buildings in a state while adding the railroad simultaneously, and the AI can't do that. Laissez-faire is still meta. I'm pretty sure it could be Council Republic. I think it's between the two. I was hoping Command Economy would be maybe viable, but it's playable, but it's not. There's not a situation where it's best, I don't think. I see that more often major powers join revs against the player. Yep. Yep. It's a little bit more risky. Reminds me of 1.3. When 1.3 first came out, they were super aggressive about joining revs, and it was terrifying. Like, going into a rev was just like, you just couldn't do it. It was, like, absolutely not something you could do. Do you know how leverage works? Not super well, but it seems to be the case that you generate a lot of leverage when you have diplomatic pacts and economic entanglement, and so generating a lot of diplomatic pacts, like defensive agreements, trade agreements, all this will generate a ton of leverage, as will, investing in their countries. Do you still think command economy is bad? Yeah, I tested a little bit closer on Russia, and it didn't even give us access to more money as we were doing stuff, because I was thinking that it was going to be enough that you were getting 75% dividends. It should just give you more to your coffers, but the negative throughput, or the throughput malice, just like seems like a problem. The economies of scale bonus being cut in half is like, it's like too much. So you can maybe exile the landowner leader. No, not the landowner leader. There's like an event that like rolls behind the scenes where it will kill one of your IG leaders, except it exempts every guy who's historic. And so if the only non-historic guy is the market liberal, then he's just gonna die to it. So for example, when we exiled the rural folk guy here, now he's not a historic character, so now it's a 50-50 chance. But that also means you're going to generally get, for people who have a lot of historical characters at game start, you're generally going to get the market liberal for a shorter period of time. And then for the ones that have basically no unique guys, you'll get them for a longer period of time. Did you guys see the Reddit post where OP nationalized all the buildings that belonged to Sweden and they collapsed? No, but it doesn't surprise me based on my experience with like Russia when we started nationalizing stuff. Like, we only nationalized a small portion of our economy, and it was like starting to like have negative effects, and it was decreasing SOL too, which decreases demand and all this. Do you think that improving with every great power and letting all the great powers invest in someone high like Qing is good, a valuable idea? Yeah, I think that's probably strong as Qing. I think that the only circumstance where you don't really want foreign investment, well, I mean, if you are trying to get them into your block, you don't want their investment, but I think generally getting investment is good if you have a lot of pop. And if you're out of pop, it's actually really bad. Or if you are a subject and you are trying to break free, I think it's bad. Can you do it with Japan as well? That's what someone said. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't be able to do it with Japan for the market liberal guy. No, you could do it as isolationist. I said that I thought you couldn't do it as isolationist. You can apparently do it as isolationist. In the Reddit post, Sweden collapsed, not OP. Sweden's income was dependent on their foreign investments. Okay. So, I don't know. We want to work on some stuff, though. Just wanted to have a little bit of experimentation, as well as kind of, I guess, a little bit of a Q&A session here on stream. Oh, you know what? Let's take a look at Persia and Afghanistan real quick. I just want to take a closer look at their journal entries. I think Kandahar is the strongest at game start here. Or not, Kabul is. Alright. Yeah, Jewish gives the best bonuses. Can you give building rights to all GPs as China? Probably be pretty hard to get all. That's actually like a lot of administration. Any chance for a France run? Not gonna lie, I'm kind of tempted to do the meme of playing France without playing France. And if I'm doing that, I can't play France. Because we did the Turtle Island start, where we started as France. And then I was thinking of doing Israel starting as France, but I maybe I'm maybe not gonna do that, I don't know. We did a little bit of the Afghanistan reunification, when we had early access. I think that if we unpause, we'll get a new thing. We'll get a new journal entry, yeah. No, that's not the one we were talking about. Oh, we just have to form Afghanistan first. Yeah, but you can go for these guys at the very start. And then we have to play the great game. But I was hearing someone saying that Russia and UK didn't really mess with them, which I was a little surprised about. Let's see what Persia's got under the hood. Or actually, maybe we probably have to go through the great game thing. And maybe this is going to be what we vote on, whether we play one of these two on stream on Saturday. So I guess we could take a quick look at them. I think Kabul's, or was it Kabul? No. Yo, saw the hotfix. What else is there to be fixed that is pretty important? I don't think anything's crazy important that needs to be fixed. I mean, well, okay, I actually think leverage UI, like the UI for like looking at leverage and this type of stuff is actually probably pretty bad, and that should be fixed. There's some stuff for like optimizing some things, but that's probably just not that important. Yeah, so I think we just specifically take the Afghanistan stuff. We'll just continue on our path. Alright, so we'll get great game, we'll get unify Afghanistan. Achieve superiority. Sovereignty. Okay. Yeah, we didn't get the progress bar because we didn't do it through the great game start, which I'm kind of frustrated that the if you do it through like the other start, you don't get the thing. Durrani Empire. We're not going to do that right now, but we can take a look at the achievement. Someone else was doing that on stream, or trying to. Durrani as Herat. Okay, so we would have to start as Herat. Own all the historical states of the old Durrani Empire. Well, that doesn't seem too bad. I mean, Herat's weaker than both the other guys, but, like, not that much weaker. You could still clap these guys in wars. So I guess, yeah, so I guess it would be between Herat and Persia that we do for Saturday. I should get add legitimacy to the top bar so I can easily see when it goes below 50. I bet you can. EIC run? Bruh. Take me back to the EIC. Old McDonald had a run. EIC. I think the Persia thing's just gonna kind of be similar. I mean, we looked at it before, but that was before release. I don't understand why they locked the great game specific scenario and you couldn't put it in the sandbox. I don't either. I don't see for the people who don't want to play it. I don't know. But we're kind of frustrated because we did a Russia run, but we didn't get access to the great game. But apparently, like, for Russia, at the time we did it, was just, like, kind of impossible to do anyway, so maybe it's, like, fine. It seems like you get claims repeatedly, so you just kind of want to go for the claims you have. And it looks like we need to get a recognized power, this type of thing. So, this will be fun. I think, well, actually, to be honest, I think you can kind of do this with either one of these guys pretty easily. So maybe we just do Herat over Persia, because there's an achievement. Is there an achievement for Persia? What? Oh yeah, I was about to say I unlocked this. So we'd have to get literacy of 80. That's kind of hard. I mean, if we go vassalization, we could do a whole bunch of edicts to increase literacy. That's maybe not too bad. Should you build in a subject if they had better tech? Yeah, generally people with better tech will be better to build in. Also, you can collapse people by building in them. Are we doing any run? No, we're kind of wrapping up. We experimented with Uyghuristan, and Panama is kind of just checking some stuff out. Just wanted to get a feel for the starts. Can you do corn laws as Japan? Yes, you can. But yeah, so this is another reason why you should also generally invest in your own country, is because generally you'll have better tax, so you'll have better PMs. The kind of exception seems to be the logging camps, because one, there aren't too many logging camps, and two, it seems that people really like putting in the logging camp companies, like really, really aggressively. Herat is hard because Persia wants to declare on you and start. Okay, that might be fair. I guess that's a lot of re-rolling then, huh? Maybe that would be better on stream. Not that this helps. My shogunate leader is always traditionalist, and you can't fire him because he's too similar to the ruler. You know you can get rid of him if you're promoting the government. You can't exile him, but you can promote override him. It's actually very useful in Japan for corn laws. Right, I think we just need to unpause on Japan and we'll get corn laws at this point, right? Oh, so Japan, the trick is, how do you get expensive grain? So yeah, you would have to try and get this. Oh, this is cute. We start out with the progress thing. Because I think we're the only unrecognized power that starts out with colonization. That is kind of cute. But yeah, you'd have to figure out a way to get grain expensive and try and get your market open. Unfortunately, there's now not the open market CBs, so you can't just... It used to be the case that you would just deck on Australia, and then UK would join with open your market CB, and you'd just back down, and this is how you'd open your market. This isn't a way forward anymore. Japan's actually like a lot more difficult and frustrating than it was in 1.4 and earlier. I hate that they don't have a good mappy state. They don't have a state with both iron and coal, and they have like kind of bad local price considerations. So like they're like a little sticky at game start. Getting off traditionalism an absolute must as soon as possible. Yeah. There's open market CB. It's called different now. But does the AI put it on you as their thing? Yeah, investment rights, but will the AI put it on as their primary thing? I mean, I guess we could check. But the play pattern of just decking on, like, New South Wales for some random, like, BS. Well, now we can't declare, like, a random thing. Yeah, now they go for a treaty port. Not like open our market. I mean, maybe you could keep re-rolling it. The UK just demanded it from you? Okay, well if the UK demands it pretty consistently, then maybe you could open up like that. I think you'd be fine with the UK investing in you, so. Only Rainbow State for Japan is the top island, but it's barren until you allow migrants, yeah. Hokkaido you are thinking of, good sir. AKA the top island. Big top. Top if true. So. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's that, and like, maybe that's a run where we just specifically try and get foreign investment. I wonder if there's a way to consistently force this. Like, we do not want to give up a treaty port. We want to give up foreign investment rights, so... Notably for you, you can't open markets without accruing infamy now, because you have to do enforced rights. But generally there's also less infamy that you acquire throughout a game, because reducing autonomy doesn't take infamy anymore, so... Can you invest in nations you have a treaty port in? My understanding is that treaty ports are currently bugs. So I don't know what exactly they're doing. They're apparently not doing a lot of what they should do, so I don't know what they're supposed to do. But I think we're going to wrap up and find someone to raid, and then work on some videos, probably within the next hour, publish one of the China videos we already have recorded, and try and have something else out again before midnight. Try and do 3 videos today. Something like this. Really just making a bit of a push, because it's the week following release, and a lot of content. At what level of mappy do rainbow states become close to irrelevant? We could show you. Oh, sorry. If you have children, hide them. Here you can see the different levels of mappy you have and different market price considerations, because if you have a high market price and a high local price, mappy negatively affects it less, right? And there's like, I forget the condition, but like you can have a condition where mappy is actually helpful. It's just way less common. If it's like it's possible to have mappy be helpful, but it's considerably less common, so we're not going to consider that scenario as much. But we see here with like 95%, we'll see a movement of 3.8% and 3.8% if there's an even market price. And so if you have to buy and sell at a 4% price differential, and we take a look at, steel mills, if we have inputs that are 4 or 5% more here, let's call it 5% more, and let's call this like 60,000, right? Or 6,000. Then that's 300 plus 300 on the input price. And then on the output price, if that's minus 5%, right? That's like 30. So maybe it's a decrease of 600 in the net. That seems pretty. Or let's do the actual math. All right, so 4%. Because times 5,800, so minus 232, and so that'll be what, let's just make it minus 230, that'll be 55.7, or wait, 55.70, no wait, other direction. So that'll be 60.32, right? And then if we decrease the value of our outputs by 4%, that's down 300, so that'll be 72. So that means our net goes down to 1,100 with 95% mappy from 1,700. That's pretty substantive, even with like the maximum mappy. So you kind of always care. But it's like, it's a degree of how much you care. Spreadsheets scare you, as they should. Should have given an SFW warning. I'm sorry, you're right. Think of the children. So, the answer is you kind of like always care. You just care a lot less. I mean, at a certain point you care more about throughput than you do mappy. Is kind of maybe the way you want to think about it. Is like at what point, and we never made the video for this, but like is it this one? Oh, did we not ever make the spreadsheet up for that? But like there's like a trade-off where you're like the marginally, like if you're, the way I think of it is, I think usually the math is such that if you're on like a level 30 building, it's better to upgrade for the throughput than it is to think about the mappy. But now that's a lot worse, considering the buildings you build when you upgrade will be government owned, which give a negative throughput penalty from economies of scale. So this might change the metric of like what's good until they can get owned. So warned you, I jumped. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. What's mappy? Mappy is market access price impact. So when we are looking at local prices, we will see that it is the MAPI score is 60%, the market access price impact, which means that 60% of the price of the goods here will be informed by the market price, and then 40% will be informed by the local price. This is almost always going to be negative for you. There's a couple conditions where it won't be negative for you, but generally speaking, it will be negative a vast majority of the time. And so what will end up happening is if we, make steel here, let's say, and we have iron here, we will get the iron at a good price, but then we will have to import coal from somewhere. So as the inputs for coal on the steel will be more expensive than how they would have to be. Similarly, the coal elsewhere, because the buy orders from the steel are pulling up the market price and not the local price for coal over here, the coal here will not be able to sell at a higher price, which it otherwise would be able to, which means that it will be less profitable as well. And so both the coal mine and the steel mill will both suffer from being in different states, but the iron mine and the steel mill will not suffer from the same thing because they are in the same state. So that means that the iron will be cheaper for the steel mill and the iron will be more expensive for the iron mine, such that both will have better positive balances. Where can we find the spreadsheet? Asking for a friend. Just don't show any children. I'll link it here. Doing religious convocation run as the Spanish Inquisition. Oh, maybe that's a good meme too. Maybe I'll do that. I mean, I really want to show off the Jewish religion because it is the best religion, but like, I don't know, people will just like, the comment section will just be a dumpster fire. I don't know. You can't build a port on behalf of your subject. No, that sounds kind of stupid. Why would an overlord build ports for their underdeveloped subject? Well, I think that you should not be able to build buildings that are going to lose the person money. Ports are often operated at a loss. Categorically, I think that everything that's in this section cannot be built, or I guess, electricity can be built, but that's the only one. It'd be stupid if you could build government administrations up to the sky for them. If you could build construction sectors for them to cause them to bankrupt. Technically, right now, you can build a bunch of railways in their nation and cause them to collapse. Is it worth it to let a GP construct in your country and later let them nationalize it? I think so, but I'm not 100% sure with this. I think that if you are running out of labor, it's really bad, though. So only if you have a lot of labor. Do you think it's Japan? If you're starting to care about efficiency per worker, if something's foreign owned, it's a lot less efficient. Because let's swap over to like UK over here, and we can talk about it briefly. But the UK. The UK here, if we look at a building, we will see that we have a positive balance, and whenever you have a building that is producing value, it produces value in one of two ways. We take this number and we minus it from the input cost from the output, and then from that we will get a value that's equal to the balance plus the wages. And so every building is creating a value in two ways, by creating a weekly balance and by creating wages. When you get foreign investment from someone else, you are only getting the value that is created through wages, and they are getting the value that's created through balance. When you invest in someone else, you're only getting what from the weekly balance, and you're not getting from wages. And so, generally speaking, in terms of like, if you have the opportunity to invest in your own country, generally you should. If you have a ton of pops, or population, you don't really care too much if all you're getting is the wages in terms of added value, because it's still going to be more than the subsistence farm that's being replaced in terms of the value that gets added. But if you are running out of labor, stuff that is built by a foreign country Like, if this is the norm, that it's a 4-to-1 split, which is not the norm, it's much more close to 50-50, I think, a lot of the time. But if it were a 4-to-1 split, then that means on a per worker basis, this building that's foreignly owned is 20% as efficient. Do Jewish religion have some other mechanics? No, they just have a unique IG bonus, but that's enough. So every religion has like unique. Well, I guess Animus doesn't have a unique IG bonus, but instead of, so we get work ethic and divine right. The Jewish one gets plus innovation and minus mortality, which I think is the best. Didn't they nerf religion a lot? Yeah, they nerfed Islam or Muslim religions, which I don't know why they did that, because those are like the worst in the game. But they nerfed not Catholic and not Protestant. So Imperator Floof, thank you for both the follow and the Prime subscription. Big nice. So with Mappy, it's better to keep production chains in a single state? Yes. And also Mappy will make trade better. So trade gets better as the game goes on and you get more Mappy. But that's why in most countries, I think it's worth it to open up on Stock Exchange if you can research it. Thank you for the Prime subscription, Unpilled Acorn. Unpilled and unacorned. We do love to see it. Yeah, so you get Stock Exchange, Zeppelins, plus you get the blimps, and macroeconomics are all texts that are going to make trade more valuable. I think that they need to make... trade has been bad since they introduced Mappy. It's been so much weaker, and I think it should be a more important aspect of the game. To be fair, it's kind of a lot better now than it was before, because I think it's worth it to build companies, or if you can get foreign investment rights, I think it's probably, I haven't done the math, but I think it's probably worth building those companies in another person's state because they are cheaper on the construction basis. So now we need to think of things in terms of, hey, do I want to build textile mills over here? Because even though it's less efficient per construction for me, because I'm only getting access to the balance, well, this balance is negative, and I'm not getting access to the value provided through wages, I can construct this building 35% faster because I'm constructing it in a country that has the company, and then I can import from them and get value into my trade center. And so now maybe it's worth it to overproduce stuff in other people's countries where you can make use of their company bonus when you yourself do not have a company bonus for that industry. Yeah. It's frustrating when it's the reason your subject has no market access. I also did put in a support ticket. Subjects are just like hate producing ports. Like hate. I did this during the early access. This was one of my pieces of feedback I gave the devs, which I just like, the subject kept asking me for their own market, and I kept saying no because I wanted to get the immigrants. And I just watched as their entire country collapsed, causing mass turmoil, and like their entire nation immigrated to me. But they should just build a port instead of dealing with all that. Feminists don't support multiculturalism anymore? Not for a while. That was a while ago. Actually, I'm not sure they ever did. I don't think feminists ever cared about multiculturalism. It used to be the case that the trade unionists and the intelligentsia would naturally support it, but that was a while ago. How does it feel to get back to triple-digit watches? Am I really at triple digits right now? Hot damn. That also makes sense, though, why I'm like trying to outro the stream and finish answering every question, but the questions are coming fast enough that I can't answer them all. How do you handle your deserved fame? I don't know if it's deserved. I'm just pretty okay at a video game. Really, the people are here for the cars anyways, though. Wasn't religion busted on China? Yeah, they nerfed it. It was pretty good. I still don't think it's as good as the Jewish one, but now they significantly nerfed it. They really kicked it in the nuts. I don't know why they nerfed it in Muslim religion, though. Muslim religion was just bad. Are they really going to just give China be fruitful and multiply? That's, like, not what you want on China. I thought that was just a placeholder and they were going to change it. Because they separated Confucianism. But China used to be Mahayana, so we'll swatch to Dainam, which actually has Mahayana. I still think it's one of the better interest group bonuses, but it's nowhere near what it used to be. It used to be like plus 50%. Wait, what? No, that's not gonna work. Who has Mahayana? No, these guys are gonna be Muslim, right? Do these guys just have the wrong... It says Mahayana. Do they just have the wrong religion than their pops? They just have Confucian and... Or what's their national religion? Do they have Confucian scholars and Mahayana people? State religion's Confucian, so they just start with a bunch of discrimination? Holy shit. Okay, so this is the bonus. This used to be 50%, now it's 15%. Bro, it's actually not that even that good anymore. Just completely kicked in the nuts on that one. But China used to have this religion. Would they nerf on the Muslim religion? It has less conversion, but it's like so stupid because like conversion's a terrible modifier anyways. Which countries use the Jewish religion? Only one. Only Israel. Which you can't even release without pan-nationalism, so... I was thinking of doing a run. This used to be 50% conversion, and it just got nerfed to 20%. It's, like, super useless now. And then I think you have the... You have minus decree cost. Was this always minus decree cost? I guess minus decree cost is probably better than the authority. Maybe, if you could stack it with other modifiers, I don't really know. But I was thinking of doing, this came up earlier in the stream, I was thinking of doing an Israel run, but I think that the comment section would just not be able to handle it. The fact that Hindu gets the Buddhist stuff, Confucian doesn't, is weird. Yeah, no, the Confucian, I don't think that they're planning on, I think that they're planning on giving them a new, unique one. I think that this is a placeholder because the base religion, this is the base religion of Catholic. Everything was initially this, and now whenever you introduce new religion, it's this. Yes, Dynam's governance is Confucian while the population is mostly Buddhist. Oof. I'm Confucian, true. The 6 get conscriptable bonus heresy? Really? They removed a ton of sources from decree cost? Yeah, I mean, and they made the minimum value of 10%, which is, like, definitely good. They're saying they have a unique Sikh, the Sikh priesthood. Oh! Ooh. Plus 10% conscriptable battalions. That's not base conscription rate, so that's not even very good. That is, I didn't know this was even in game though. That is interesting. Does atheism get bonuses? Your bonuses are the Intelligentsia when you're playing atheist. How about Form Italy and your own power block? It sounds like fun. Yeah, that would be fun. Play modded Jewish Madagascar for the meme. I mean, I guess it could. The thing is I think people would get uppity if I played Jewish Madagascar too. Even though, like, it's obviously a meme, because the implicit in that is, like, saying that the Jews should not be in Palestine. I thought about playing Jewish New York as well, which would be probably the least problematic, but still offensive. Also, I think it would be funny, but, like, that's not, I don't know, people are super touchy about that one. And I'm like, I'm not trying to cause, I'm trying to entertain people, I'm not trying to cause, like, psychological trauma, or trying to be that edgy. Although I do like dark humor myself, like, personally, like, dry and dark humor I like a lot, but, like, I'm not trying to make people upset. I think Orthodox is also a religion, but it's just not very good. Another South America game would go hard. I thought about doing Argentina. Argentina's one. I haven't done Argentina. I haven't done Paraguay or Uruguay. You know, Orthodox Church is not very good from what I remember. Oh, they just have be fruitful and multiply. It's just Catholic. Jewish Rome is the only way. A lot of snowflakes. Well, I wouldn't want to call them snowflakes, but yeah, a lot of people get upset. I think snowflake is a little bit more dismissive than I would like, but yeah. Jealous, trying not to get canceled. That's like part of it, but like also like I wouldn't want like everything to just be all super negative and like people to be fighting in the chat and like this type of thing. Like, why are you all fighting? Literally bleeding all over the edge, all over your edge. Calm down, basically. No, I mean like when people I think are being provocative just to be provocative, I also think it's just super annoying. And I'm not, like, trying to do that. Time for a world conquest run. Well, people didn't want the... We were doing a YouTube poll for it. People didn't want the world conquest run, so... They wanted more of the belt-wielding Tewodros. They wanted Ethiopia. Which is better if you just stay as Harar, but... Is Hawaii still playable? I don't know if it was ever that playable. It's probably just as playable as it was before. You find Argentina can be boring if you don't get migrant waves. You will get migrant waves, especially with the new... you can execute running freedom of movement much better than the AI can, and you can just super abuse and make sure you get all the mass migrations. Middle East conquest with Israel? Yeah, that would upset people. Especially if we made any jokes about it, which, like when we're playing the USA and we're, like, doing the slavery and the, like, Manifest Destiny, Trail of Tears business, we do make jokes, but it's, like, the jokes aren't actually supporting any of that stuff. Like, that stuff was, like, monstrous, but people, like, won't... People just interpret it in the most, like... aggressive way possible without any nuance in regards to playing over here. And also, the video will probably just get auto-demonetized. I think if enough people report it, I get like a strike on my channel and like this type of stuff. And it's like, as much as I want to showcase like the one unique religion that no one knows about, like, is it worth the headache? Yeah, people would riot. I mean, who cares? It's like... Well, I would definitely care if my videos got reported to the extent that, like, I would get a strike on my channel. When are we getting a new cooking short? I don't know. Maybe for 25,000 subs, we're gonna do something. Yeah. There's definitely, like, worse things that can happen. Like, also, if a lot of people decide that they, like, if word of mouth is, like, people are like, oh, that journalist guy's a problem, like, that's probably not zero amount of hurt. I think a lot of you guys find me through, like, word of mouth. With Harar, you can get Arabic pops as accepted. Ethiopia, you need multiculturalism. Yeah, so saying Harar is just better. But we made Ethiopia because, like, that's, like, the goal. I remember all the jokes about Gaza in the country we used to make in here with, you had, like, 10 viewers. Yeah, so those jokes, for whatever reason, are not as offensive as, like, playing Israel, it seems like to people. And also, I'd say we're gonna attack Gaza, not like this, and then, like, yeah. I'll be honest, I doubt if your channel or Victory is big enough for people to Palestine bubble to find out. Well, a modder made the Israel just being releasable mod for me, and then within 10 minutes of him making it, someone was on his Steam thing, basically implying that he liked baby killing or child murder, or I forget how he put it, something like that. So I don't know. And maybe it's just like a 2% or 3% or 4% like minority of people that I should just ignore and I should just do it. But calling it a bubble is pretty dismissive. It's a little dismissive. Also, yeah, I mean, maybe the talk about the talk is gonna get too heated. So, you made a mod with releasables too, extremes? Yeah. So maybe, like, we could just find, like, a different country to release that's, like, Jewish, but, like, that seems like, I also kind of don't want to pander to the fact that, like, people would have a problem with it. I'd just rather enjoy it, or not enjoy it. I'd rather avoid it than to try and play around it. But but like, yeah, the people have a huge tolerance for like some things. Like, you just Trail of Tearsing everyone doesn't offend people, and it's like, that's just like also monstrous, but like people just, you know. What if you just renamed it? Yeah, but then it's like, so having a solution in that way wouldn't be a solution. Brazil series has been the favorite of all your runs? I can't even remember that one. I remember all the Brazilians were mad at me, though, because I ousted Pedro at the very start. Or I've actually done 2 Brazil runs. The first one I ousted Pedro at the very start, and, like, the Brazilians really hated that. Jewish religion Palestine or Sunni religion Israel? That'd be a way to offend even more people. I thought about getting a mod that was called the One-State Solution, and then like making the religion unified faith and giving both the Jewish and the Muslim bonuses on each of the things. And I was like, how could anyone complain about that? Manifest Destiny is fine because it was a long time ago. Yeah, I understand that there's like something going on like currently, but like I still think I don't want to get into like a massive discussion. I still think there's other problematic things that are going on that people just aren't touchy about in a way. Have a modern name the country, totally not Israel. Yeah. Jewish Prussia, that can't go wrong. Oh my god. That's actually kind of funny though. Jewish Prussia, and then we make a religious convocation. Maybe that's the answer. Somehow that's like more objectively offensive, but I think like actually people would be less upset about it. That's wild though. Bro, maybe that's the answer. Pedro was a Sigma? Yeah, all the Brazilians are in chat now. Jewish Prussia would be memes, would be hilarious. No, I'm thinking about that. What did as a Jew, what did I come back to? I was saying, so this has been a topic that we could kind of talk about stream, is I was wanting to do a run of a country that has Jewish as its religion, because the Jewish bonus is the best bonus in the game, but there's only one country. That country is Israel, and I think me just playing Israel would upset people. And I was talking about how, like, that's problematic, and then someone suggested we play Jewish Prussia. Rename the country Palestine/Israel, but then which one do you put first? Yeah. People care about something legitimately just because others may not only see it or see it as a fad. Please check that you are qualified to work in arts academies if you play Jewish Prussia. There may be some serious radicalism otherwise. People didn't care about it before and will stop caring about it soon. I don't know. People definitely, in terms of issues that are geopolitical in nature, I think people cared about Israel-Palestine at a much higher rate than they do care about, like, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, or something like that, or, like, any of what's going on in Africa. I still think it's, like, I mean, people care more about that than, like, what's going on in Uyghur, or, you know, not Uyghur, whatever you want to call it, Xinjiang province. I think people stopped caring about what was going on in Ukraine a whole bunch when the Israel-Palestine thing broke out. But Jewish Germany is like the ultimate. Like that's like objectively, I think, more offensive, but like actually would bother people less. Call it Judea, yeah. Call it the two-state. So the two-state was one I considered. Calling it two-state and making it both Jewish and Muslim simultaneously. People are just annoying, yeah. Yeah, can't have nice things. I might just leave it up to a YouTube poll though. Let the chat decide my fate. But Jewish Prussia. I also just might like line step with the dark jokes, generally speaking. Maybe I just shouldn't play a religious convocation run, just like never try out because that's the idea, is I want to do at least one run on each of these, but like, maybe we shelf the religious convocation one. Jewish Germany's been done in EU4. A lot of people are coming out of the closet regarding anti-Semitism. I mean, I think that like, I think that the issue is complicated, but like 30% of the population of both Palestine and Israel really hate the other side basically, and just like doesn't want like any type of reasonable solution. And I think that's a sufficiently large segment of the population of both that there's going to be significant problems, but that also leaves an enormous segment of the population that like would want like a solution that like would end like an enormous amount of suffering. Jewish Manchuria would definitely be wacky, but would be historical with Japan. Bro, we're planning on doing a Uyghur run. Let the chat decide whether your career ends or not, basically. I get a bunch of new users and they just like run into like, should we play Israel? But we could also form Arabia as Egypt, something like that with religious convocation. I think that if we're doing that, we're doing Muslim HRE though, if we're gonna do Muslim. Because you can form Yugo, and then Yugo can form the HRE. There's an EU4 YouTuber who makes videos about Jewish Germany and Israel Caliphate. Does he do them recently? Since October? What's the Coptic bonus? I don't think there is a Coptic bonus. But you said you can't release it without pan-nationalism. I would just have a mod that would make it releasable in Game Start and start as France and then take it. I think the majority of people just want to get along. Vocal minorities, both groups overtake both voices, the voices of both societies. That's true, but yeah, that's probably true. Israel offered him 6 peace deals. The issue was Jordan was supposed to be the Muslim state, while Palestine was supposed to be the Jewish one. If you read the OG UK treaty, I mean, I've read a book on like the entire conflict. I think it's saying that Israel's the only one offering peace deals and Palestine's offering and acting in bad faith just like doesn't capture what's going on correctly. I think Israel has offered a lot of deals to Palestine knowing Palestine would not accept those deals, and so you make an offer that knowing that the other person will not accept so that you look more reasonable to the international community. Just like Hamas has offered Israel like peace deals that they know Israel 100% will not accept because it makes them look like they're conciliatory when they 100% know they won't accept those peace deals. So recently he's made this interesting. And like there's also an enormous asymmetry in like power, right, between Israel and Palestine, which is like considering like Hamas has been whatever. We just like totally don't need to get into this. Isn't Palestine's only deal a one-state solution? No Israel? No, they've offered other stuff, but the like I don't know. So the thing is like roughly 30% of the population of both states wants basically no compromise of any kind regarding what they want, and they both want more than like 50% of the land, or 50% of like whatever status quo is, or something like this. And so that leads to very significant problems. Like the Israeli leader, I can't remember his name, but he unilaterally left Gaza, although you wouldn't say that there's still like effectively like embargoes around Gaza. You can, that's fine, but he basically left Gaza, and he like just it was occupied and he left. He was assassinated. He was assassinated by an Israeli guy who didn't want compromise. There was a president of Egypt who was helping facilitate compromise, and was like more like I guess pro-Israel, and he got assassinated by a Palestinian. Like, there's substantive segments of the population from like both sides who like don't want. But then the same thing is like I feel like both sides completely generalize that like 30% and project that it's 100% of the other side is just completely unreasonable and like doesn't want like any type of thing, and like that's also like not the case. There's like a huge amount of innocent people on both sides that like are perfectly chill and would love for like everyone to get along, but like 30%'s a lot. Like, and that's how you get like the leaders that start compromising getting assassinated, like on both sides. Like, yeah. It's kind of like the Russia ceasefire thing in Ukraine. Yeah, Russia offers something that they know Ukraine won't accept, and they just, well, like that's also like just a weird type of posturing thing. And if Russia wants a ceasefire, they could always just leave. Israel has a real economy. Part of that is because like there's been sanctions around like Gaza for like forever. In terms of drawing a distinction between like Gaza and Israel. So the whole conflict is morally, ethically gray. That's kind of, and I mean the whole conflict going back to like the 1880s is like difficult and like hard to discern, where in my opinion the Ukraine thing and the thing in Uyghur is like much more clear. Are the game quirks related to Bosphorus Strait? You might play the Ottoman Empire in Turkey in this game. So I found something out recently. Is this strait? You need convoys to cross, which I don't think you should have to. But if you are playing Persia, for example, and you get Ottoman Empire into your market, your convoys have to reach this. And it doesn't internally logic you going convoy to here. You actually just have to go from here all the way around and then go to here, which is like an absolute convoy nightmare. Rabin didn't retreat from Gaza, and Sadat was killed by Egyptian Islamists. I mean, my recollection of the book I read on the matter was otherwise, but I don't like have it in front of me in terms of the receipts. You could be correct, and I could be misinformed. I can't, like, people can look that up if they care. Yeah, but This is, but what the chat is like progressing towards now is what I think the comment section would be if I played Israel, which makes me not want to play Israel. Treaty of 1947, Israel offered most of the arable land to the Muslim pops and refused and lost the war, cried since. I think that's like an oversimplification, so they can just leave, lol. Yeah. But, yeah. Russia offered a neutral corridor for citizens to retreat and then bombarded it. The interview with Putin's explanation was just surreal. Yeah, I mean, like, I think that Putin is unambiguously the bad actor here. And I think that it's a lot more grain. So weird, no one cares if you do a Ukraine or Russia run? No. No one cared that I did Russia and then formed the USSR and then played the, well, like one person didn't like I played the Soviet anthem. I actually got copyright bopped for that, which I thought was, I was not expecting that. I thought it was our anthem, you know, like Bugs Bunny, our meme, our anthem, but it wasn't. So, yeah. Why did Europe let Turkey keep Istanbul? Wait, what? What was Europe? Wait, what? What do you mean? Negligible amount of people support Russia outside of Russia and their allies, and thus no one actually thinks you support Russia if you play a Russian game. Yeah. Well, like I think drawing like the parallels, like, yeah, I think it's like absurd to think that just because I play Israel means I condone their actions or this type of thing. Or if I played Palestine, people would be upset too. Oh, I think somehow people would be less upset, but can we just agree on another Japan run? This is the real solution. We do a Japan run instead. What's their religion? I think they have the better one. Well, it's not even that good anymore. Doesn't Trump and the MAGA crowd support Putin openly? I think that that's a generalization. I know people who like Trump that hate Putin. So I don't think that that's categorical. I think if you're trying to, yeah, I don't think that that is a fair capturing of everyone. Yeah. You mean it was our run? Yeah, our run. Soviet national anthem being copyrighted is peak capitalism. Yeah, technically it's like one particular, the way it works is it's one particular performance of the anthem is copyrighted. The actual like sheet music itself's not copyrighted, but when someone records a version of it, their version of the recording is copyrighted. So, but I was thinking I could get away with playing it on stream for the memes, but I couldn't. I think that cost me like quite a bit of revenue, which is kind of a bummer because that stream popped off, but. So they don't own the copyrights, they own the copyright to a particular recording. So if you play that particular recording, we could go Shinto, but Shinto's really trash too in terms of bonuses. Like the only country you would, if there was a country you would want to run it on most, it would actually just be Jewish. We could make Japan Jewish. Maybe that's the play. Play the Pope and conquer the Holy Land. Yeah, so the thing to do is maybe play Pope, go atheist religious convocation. Trump and MAGA are definitely more pro-Russian than the other side. Yeah, but I think I'm on the left, but I definitely find concerning the degree to which people on the left are willing to generalize about people on the right. And vice versa, to be fair, but like, the right is like, at least in the United States, the right is, I think, more divided than the left is, slightly. Because the left, like, you also have the hyper-progressives that a lot of the moderate liberals do not agree with. Is it worth having two different companies that overlap on some buildings? I'm not really sure. This is like kind of a weird math thing, and it also changes a lot now with foreign investment. You get diminishing returns for having two companies. Yikes. You get diminishing returns for having two companies for the same thing in terms of what it's giving you. It gives you less nominal throughput and also extra throughput is less valuable the more of it you have. But this means you can specialize more, and it might be the case that you can just specialize and export, and then import stuff from other countries, and you build stuff in other countries where they have companies, and, well, so it could be the case that you build cotton and you export cotton to France, and then you import France's clothes, and this economic loop, if you have a trade agreement, you have to offset it with the cost of convoys, but maybe this is worth it. Surely no one would care about Jewish Japan. Yeah. I also might be, tankies on the left support Russia too, it's so weird. Yeah, that's another one. People who are really far left also support Russia because everything the US does is bad. I was also thinking of opening a run about a divided people, can't get along. Some people want there to be two states, but in reality there can only be one, and then panning over, and it's not Israel, and Palestine, but instead we're playing Texafornia, the unification of Texas and California, two peoples who are bitterly opposed to each other, now united in one state. I'm a historian and I dedicate my life to studying fascism and neo-fascism. I hate how the word fascist become an insult to thing I dislike, or how it became a replacement for authoritarian. Yeah. I hate how people exercising free speech and criticizing another person for their speech in a forum that's completely free and open, where no one's getting, falling out of windows. I hate how that is somehow fascist. Like, people talk about getting canceled. Getting canceled is fundamentally a bunch of people publicly expressing dislike for you for something you publicly were allowed to say, and none of it is against the law, and you're not getting assassinated, right? And then people calling that fascism is just the wildest thing to me. You got the red color in your game as well? I thought it was an issue on your end. No, it's just a bug. I don't know what causes it exactly, but you just, like, zoom in and out and it goes away. It's not that big a deal. The right's biggest problem in the US is their tilt towards extremism. There's some pretty extreme people on the left too, but sure. They will likely have to remake themselves in some way when it fails. We'll see. We could just be going towards something much more severe. That would be a great meme. With the Texafornia, yeah, if someone makes a Texafornia mod, I will 100% play it. I've been trying to bait various modders into making it for me, but apparently it's really hard to code, like, you actually making this a single state. Because what strategic region does it go in? Where does the port go? I want it to actually function like a canal from Texas to California, and you to be able to go boats through it. And so, the actual mod itself is a little bit complicated. Yeah. The far right and the far left on different sides of the same coin. Yeah, the capitalism coin. The coin of commerce. Yeah. Texafornia, though. It would also have 1,000 arable land. Break me off a piece of that. How people use the word fascist is so fascist. You're as cancelled as your next show. Cancelled for the Texafornia bit. Hating is perfectly acceptable as long as it's on the... not done as it's done on the basis of not terrible things. Union of Texas and California is part of the plot of a recent movie. Alex Garland's Civil War. Interesting. Like, hating based on ideas is perfectly fine. Yeah, I mean... Who are we even talking about with the hating thing? Hi, guys, just joined. How's it going? Yeah, suddenly we've gotten derailed and we're talking about politics now, which is maybe, like, not something I should be doing when I have a bunch of newer viewers and they're interested in Victoria 3. We've gotten derailed. Shipping lane cutting through North America would be funny. Yeah, that's what I really want Texafornia. You also would have every mineral except for lead. You would have, like, something to the tune of, like, 80 or 90 sulfur. I think logging camps would be around 40. I forget how much of this you get. You would also have a lot of fishing wharves, 16 fish, I think, or 16 gold. You would have access to a ton of different arable land potentials. And so, uh, Ribob 007, thank you for the follow. So, I mean, I really want to play a single state run as Texafornia. Yeah, that's a good point, Nasser. That's exactly what I was thinking of, is that, like, are we going to call religion ideas? And also, what about egalitarianism? Is that an idea? Is humanism an idea? Like, the saying it's okay to hate on the basis of bad ideas breaks down when you start thinking of it in a cross-cultural way. And I think that, like, yeah, it's a little bit more complicated. The USA needs Big Daddy Tewodros. Holy power of Iron Belt. Generalist, East Coast or West Coast better? Well, I live on the West Coast, so West Coast, obviously. The weather's better. Good luck arguing anything to the contrary. There's also not weird critters and beasts on the West Coast. I guess we have fires and earthquakes. Big 3 is a apolitical game, unlike those politica-based woke games like Overwatch. Wait, what? People don't want to hear what they don't like. Sure, it's annoying people to hear what the things they align with, but I think it's better to debate rather than fight. I do too. I also like most of the news. I lean liberal. Most of the news I consume is conservative, just so I'm trying to stay balanced. I like actively try and find things that I disagree with. One-party monarchy with an ethnic state and atheism, and command economy, free trade, ban on criticism. I want to make the second Paradox fixes their laws, I want to do a capitalist hellscape, but currently you cannot pass debt slavery with multiculturalism, and we want the true libertarian hellscape where everything's allowed. It's all just consensual relations, and debt slavery is one of them that we want. Philosophy says science is an idea if you go deep enough. Yeah, kind of. So, yeah. A lot of people, yeah, you could think, the fact that egalitarianism is, like, a value that is, like, held to be, like, universal when it's, like, globally it's, like, not, like, an enormous segment of the population is, like, India, where they have, like, I don't know India's culture that well, but they do, I know they have a culture of, like, a caste-like culture, which is the furthest from egalitarian, and the notion that this is just, like, an idea to them rather than something, like, bigger than, like, yeah. You're so good at the game and your opinions are so base, this is awesome. Well, a lot of my opinions here are just to, like, not have an opinion. Have you checked out Philosophy Tube? Quite interesting stuff there. I have ideas YouTube. Oh, you mean me checking out? I have not. There's a mod that has multiculturalism with debt slavery. I might have to just play the mod. It should be allowed. I think that Paradox doesn't want to make slavery meta, though, which I can understand. Yeah. The fact that the Discord's got some weird rules as well, because they just, like, don't want to line step. But the fact that the Nazi Party exists in game, but you can't say Hitler on the Discord is, like... I mean, I understand it. I'm not saying they shouldn't have that be the case, but... it's like, yeah. I don't think consuming Fox News is good for you, bro. Too bad. I think that it's important to, like, understand what other people's perspectives are, even if you disagree with them. Also, I think it's valuable to watch, like, MSNBC and Fox. There was one time it was super surreal. I remember I was watching, like, MSNBC was reporting on an unarmed black man getting shot and killed by police. And then at the exact same time, Fox News was reported on an off-duty cop getting shot and killed by an illegal immigrant. And it was just, like, the most surreal thing, because it just, like, perfectly, like, captured like the way the media, even though they're reporting on things that actually happen, just like distorts reality and pushes a narrative that's particular to them. Like if you watched MSNBC during like 2016 to 2020, like 80% of their coverage was on Trump, and like there's more going on in the world than just like Trump. I've been out Vic 3 early versions last night. Used to fully pay for construction, but now it seems to work differently. Can you please explain how it works in 1.7 now? It'll still pay for a lot, but the capitalists have to start investing, and you have to ramp up the capitalists, and the capitalists ramp up a lot slower now. So it'll still eventually start paying for a lot. It's just you have a ramping up period, especially if you start out as a small country. Yikes. That doesn't have a lot of capitalists at game start. Instead, what you will rely on to kind of fund your first capitalist ownership will be urban centers, I believe is how this works. I'm not 100% because 1.7 is kind of new. Yeah. You're not American, but there's the First Amendment thing. Hearing that you don't like is the way to go forward in the modern age, and closing your ears and shouting la 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 gets you nowhere. Yeah, exactly. And also, like, you should be willing to engage people in, like, discourse, even if you disagree with them, and you should understand how to engage someone you disagree with in discourse, such that they themselves, the other side who you disagree with, doesn't engage in, like, conversation terminating behavior where they just, like, escalate. Like, you should understand how to talk about ideas without escalating stuff. And, like, I think so many people on the internet are so bad at that. They're just, like, so volatile, like, so fast. And that's, like, that literally you're shutting yourself off from information. You're making it harder to form, like, a coherent and correct, like, worldview. So, let's take a quick look at Argentina. My God, I'm getting distracted. Nah, I offended you? I'm sorry, Nasser. What did I even say? The truth hurts. Multicultural debt slavery? I think that does it at least. Yeah. You got war reps from the French Empire, and I'm getting 110k. Big nice. Or you mean a bankroll? 110k is a lot for war reps. I think there's a video a while ago of an uppercase guy pissing on a lowercase guy. That did not go well. Yeah, that's just like... I mean, like, I'm very much into the egalitarian thing, so, like, that stuff, like, bothers me. You would perm ban for calling the Discord, for calling Yellow Prussia worse than death? Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I think on my Discord, you're definitely really aggressive towards the other Norwegians in a way that I would imagine would get you banned on the official Discord. Do you think founding a power bloc in the game is smart for countries like USA? 30 relations with the other bloc leaders is rough. I think you don't, actually, for that exact reason. I think if you're playing as the USA, you wait until you have, like, plus 50 relations with a lot of other people. Because if you catalyst into negative relations specifically, I think minus 20, I think it creates a diplomatic catalyst where they are likely to form, what is it, not coalitions, but lobbies against you. And so I think that the AI being very vindictive and really caring about this stuff long term is such that it's not worth the extra mandate progress at the start of the game, when you could just increase relations to you know, be at least plus 11 so that you don't go to minus 20. Or you could also do plus 80 or plus 50, but that's, like, maybe, like, less important. Paradox made slavery meta in Stellaris. Yeah, but that's different. Like, the scope of the game is entirely different. Ground news is a good site for neutral news, but I'm guessing you are already familiar with it. I'm not familiar with ground news, but I also... Neutral news for the West, like, the context matters. Like, neutral news for the United States is conservative relative to the West, and neutral news for the West is super far left relative to the rest of the world. And so, like, but I understand what you're saying, like, reporting on both sides, this type of thing. Why isn't there a market confidence modifier that for capitalist countries that makes it so that instead of investment pool contribution being 1x, it goes to 2x? I don't know if it should ever be, like, 2x. Or you mean they give up twice as much money? The problem is if you actually change the amount of money capitalists are contributing from 20%, Like, if they can contribute 40% instead, this will actually radicalize the crap out of them, because their SOL will drop, because they won't be spending as much of their money on, like, their goods, on their needs, and so they'll just tank their SOL. Urban centers and worker-owned capitalist buildings, yeah. Oh, worker-owned capitalist buildings also crank it up? Interesting. Is there a way for the government investments to grant a throughput bonus? Not that I know of. I think you're just, like, you're stuck with the throughput penalty. I don't know why the throughput penalty is in game. I think it's just super... Well, I mean, I understand why it's in game. It's just, like, they really don't want, like, command economy to be good. Which I suppose is fair. I would kind of want it to not be good either. I think if I was designing the game, I would probably make laissez-faire best too. So my understanding is we can form this, and then after that we can form the really big one, and this is the biggest South American thing you can do. I think you have to be fast about it, but my understanding is that you can form the Federation of the Andes after Rio de la Plata, because there's like an overlap of one state or something, like this state, and so you can do both. So maybe that's a run we could do. How's the economy working 1.7? I've lost all feeling of what's going on in your country with all the ownership types and countries owning industry in your country. So I think generally speaking, it's been separated. It's a lot more sluggish to get the industrialists coming on up. I think you go laissez-faire. I think government ownership is bad, and so you should generally try and avoid it, and so you should put your stuff up for sale when you're on interventionism and stuff. The U.S. is probably the only nation in the world with radical free speech laws. Do you think it's a good standard that other nations should push towards? I think that the radical free speech laws are going to cause some kinds of harm, which I think most Americans don't think. I think they only cause good and like this type of thing. But my opinion, and this isn't something I've done a super deep dive on, but the general default is if you want to remove a freedom, you should have a really good reason to do it. And sometimes that freedom causes harm, but that harm is still, it's not worth the trade-off of getting rid of the freedom. And so I'm generally pro-free speech. I'm very concerned about the way that media, social media in particular, is incentivized to propagate extremism, because the incentive structure is like a race to the bottom of the brainstem type of thing, where you are trying to invoke people's fears, their prejudices, oversimplify things, and invoke outrage, because that's what gets shared the most. And the companies are incentivized by engagement, not actually providing value to the end user, where, you know, the more you're scrolling, the more money they get, right? They don't get money based on how fulfilled you are as an individual or anything closely resembling it. They get it based on engagement. So their goal is to keep you engaged, not fulfilled. And so this creates, like, problems with, like, how information propagates. And I don't know what the answer to that is, because, like, if you could make the information less free, you could regulate it in that way. I don't know if that's the solution. I think that it's possible that companies should not be allowed to profit in that particular way, and that the incentive structure should be regulated, and that's where it should be regulated, not at the site of any particular speech. But generally speaking, yeah, I would rather see the incentive structure be attacked by the government than individuals' free speech, to try and, like, rectify what seems to be a problem with discourse, modern discourse within the last 10 years, just, like, really going down the drain, and people getting increasingly aggressive with each other. It's destabilizing society. But I think there should be free speech. I think the fact that I can say, like, Biden is an idiot and Trump is an idiot, and the fact that I can say both of those things and not worry about my safety is, like, really valuable. And so, yeah. It's difficult to form good ideas and things about what to do if you can't access information. Down with the Cadillos, they ruined everything. Terrible. In particular, one of the things I don't like about Arge is because we don't actually have good mappy states. I think we have one state with, yeah, this is the, like, kind of good state, but it has, like, no pops at the start. I suppose the opener would be something like... we not going to get the map mode? Only incorporated states count. And we only have 3 incorporated states. Oh, so that's actually kind of... Only incorporated states count for mass migration. So we would want to... What's up with our... Oh, we swapped nations. What's going on? I find it funny that Japan could get recognized super early. That is an interesting one as well, I think. Like, way earlier than every other unrecognized as a result of them having access to the thing. Okay, so I think these were the 3. And so now if we look at mass migration attraction, it should be really high. Or if we let the game on pause and think for a sec. That's not right. These numbers aren't right. There we go. So we should be the ones getting mass migration at the very start. Yeah, how's the new guy down there? Isn't he some hard libertarian? Yeah, the Argentina guy, I have no idea. Grow your YouTube long enough and soon they will all show to be a sponsor. Not if we talk about politics. I actually think that the fact that I did the Ukraine stream is maybe why, like, possibly why Paradox didn't, like, give me the potential of, like, doing some of their, like, official videos. It's possible. Can you look at Circassian and the Caucasian inmate? We looked at it before. They have, like, a really strong military bonus that I think is, like, interesting. Usually giving freedom is way easier than taking it away, right? I'm not sure. Well, in Germany, we have free speech laws except insulting or denying actions between 1930 and 1950. It extends beyond that in Germany. You can't be, like, openly, like, a Nazi in Germany. Not that I'm saying I like Nazis, I'm just saying, like, it's more than that. To speak freely, you have to risk being offensive? Yeah. I think this goes for a lot of capitalism. Not offer solutions, but perpetual services that you need to buy over and over again. Yeah. So I think that we would want a construction center in Tucumán. Can we even afford a construction center? We can't really. So let's do this and then... I mean, the fact that we could instantly hit ourselves to the top of the lobby in terms of migration attraction by promoting it at GameStar is going to be really big for us. Because the mass migrations are going to be a huge deal. I imagine we start off with expensive enough grain. Oh, we don't? Alright. But this should get us the corn laws. There's the corn laws. So this seems pretty straightforward. No? Maybe we're missing something here. I don't think we have unique interest groups at all, so... What do you think about a Spanish company that increases innovation by 15%? In general, I don't think the innovation companies are that great, but we could take a look. But I think that Arge, that's like a fair enough way to think about to start with Arge. Before news was just seen as a necessity rather than a for-profit institution, we're seeing this happen with housing as well as moving from a need to a service. Yeah, I don't know how you fix the housing thing. See, the Spanish company that gives innovation. There isn't a single company that gives innovation that I think is particularly good, except for the railroad company. Yeah, so I think that the problem is that what you're getting the construction and throughput on isn't that great. the textile mill and cotton plantation, you could do a lot better. Especially Spain has one of the very best in the game, especially early as Duro y Campania. And then also they have access to another unique company that's pretty strong in Altos Hornos de Vizcaya. So I would probably lean into like steel and iron like hard and really try and hard export those and go Duro y Campania on the two of those. Duro y Campania is one of the best companies in the game. You can argue it actually is the best company in the game because it doesn't have a tech requirement like the other steel, coal, iron companies, so you can make use of it way earlier on. Bring back monarchies. I mean, like, I think if you have a brilliant monarch, like, monarchy, like, works pretty well, who's benevolent. The problem is that there's, like, no fail-safe when you get some psychopath. Yeah, the news is also, like, both news outlets, or, like, MSNBC and Fox both have a heavy bias towards, like, selling out to corporate interests. Is there a point in building a foreign nation's profitable industry? I think there's a point in building in places where they have companies or for stuff that is just generally going to be insanely profitable, like gold and oil. Feels like the dividends are super small. Yeah, they are kind of small, but also, if you're playing someone like Belgium, you're going to run out of pops really fast. And having the ability to make use of your construction when you are out of population is going to be useful. So, Belgium might get more value in building out of a foreign country than building a textile mill so that their logging camp workers can go to work in the textile mill instead. Like, that margin is probably better. And then also, it's going to pull up your migration attraction when you add a bunch of ownership in kind of your home states. We haven't gotten to try this out yet with playing someone really tall, and I'm kind of curious how high you can pull up the SOL by investing in foreign countries, because on a per-workers basis, investing in a foreign country is, like, way, 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 way better. What are your thoughts on non-cheese, non-intelligentsia Paraguay stuff flavor? Like the event to build up your military and iron mines? I don't really... We played through Paraguay, and I just, like, didn't think too much of the flavor, to be honest. Just kind of seemed, like, a little bit medium. What's the most effective way to get rid of serfdom, aside from removing all of your wheat farms? The most effective way is to do an abdication cheese. Like, we could probably show it here, because we have an intelligentsia that's upset. Let's make them even more upset, and they'll, Can we make them more upset? Yeah, we can. We can go for hereditary bureaucrats. So this will radicalize these guys nearly instantly, and we'll get a revolution. So what you can do is, when you have this revolution... Oh, maybe we should have gotten someone who's agitating for something. But when you have a revolution that's currently ongoing, and you abdicate to it, or you resign from office to it, you'll get this hand thrown up event. And then you will get this. This will be the second option, and it'll give you a ton of loyalists, and it will force the governance principles of the group that is revolutionary, in this case the Intelligentsia, which likes parliamentary republic, and it will also force whatever law they're agitating for. So what you do is you find an agitator that's going to agitate for you getting off of serfdom. You make them revolutionary, so that the movement is supporting that thing, and then you just back down to it and get rid of serfdom and make parliamentary republic pass at the same time. And this is kind of the meta of how you, like, go about that, which is, like, pretty cheese. Santa Fe is calling in an incorporated state. How does that work in regards to mass migration? I have no idea. Yeah, I'm super behind. I gotta catch up on the chat. I'm gonna skip over some stuff. General, please read this. Okay. You just said read that instead of other thing. Trains fix housing. What are we drinking? It's like drink mix from, like, Sonic brand drink mix mixed into a gallon. It's, like, super watered down, but I kind of like everything watered down. It tastes mostly like water, just slightly flavored water. Duro Campagna was the first one you took at Spain. Unsure what the other one could be. Should be. Yeah. So I think the one that gives you infra is maybe good, but it's kind of adding on top of. I don't know if it's. I don't know what the second one you should take is. I would not take that that one that you were looking at though. I don't think. I feel like companies are too willing to become protectorates. Yeah, I mean reverse sways in general are like kind of weird and hard to balance. Try Hokkaido maxing with internal migration. It absorbs unemployed from other states, so you don't have to care about MAPI. Yeah, maybe cause unemployment. Does foreign investments use you and your target's construction? So my understanding is that construction is a state-born modifier. So we click on information here. We could scroll down and then find construction efficiency. I don't think I've gotten a straight-up answer for this, though. So I'm not 100% sure it's applying on the state level, but I believe it is. Where is it? It's going to be in here somewhere, the state construction efficiency. Or maybe we'll do it here, yeah. There's the MAPI. Where is it? I'm missing it. I'm like 90% sure it's in here though. The construction efficiency. I'm not seeing it though. Yeah, I don't know. General, please don't read this, damn. You should really make some shorts with those cheese-like Parliamentary Republic. It's not even available on the wiki, I think. Not even available on the wiki. What? Yeah, we are going to make a video about abdication, though. I've been told you were drinking for weeks, and they told you were drinking gasoline. That's the meme. I think we're going to wrap up as soon as I kind of catch up with chat here, though, because there's some other stuff I wanted to work on. Torn what to do on single player. What's an unconventionally fun country that isn't a great power? Unconventionally fun. Unconventionally fun. I'm not sure what that even means. I mean, forming a nation is always good for dopamine, so Italy is probably a decent one, but you might consider that a great power. Do you know about getting Qing to Republic on day one? I assume using abdication. But you would have to make them care about Parliamentary Republic, right? Because their Intelligentsia doesn't base care about it. Something like that. It's going to be an abdication thing, though, right? Do you have to ideology swap them somehow? Or get a specific ideology? Your upper class is 20 SOL. Bros fell off. What do you think is the go-to for power block principles? Yeah, we can quickly talk about that. I think that the strongest ones, I think external trade is pretty strong for the extra Diplo score, but that's like hard to evaluate. Vassalization is pretty strong for the authority per subject. I think the first level construction's insane, and probably what you should take with your first mandate, just like, probably always. I think, what is it? Colonial offices is also really strong. The minus infamy generation on unrecognized powers is good. I think the absolute strongest is freedom of movement. I think those are kind of the really strong ones. Even after the nerf, which went through today, I still think it's just like very, very strong. But the third level of construction is also pretty good if you don't have access to a good tool company. So if you're not playing Russia, Belgium, or Greece, What are your thoughts on crabs? They're hard. They taste okay. I like sushi. You risked it all and lost. Big sad. Big sad. Is the modifier really applied directly to the state or not through something else? I think it's on the state. I couldn't find it looking through, unless you guys saw it and I just couldn't see it myself. But I believe it's calculated on an in-state basis. I've tried to confirm this before and couldn't when building foreignly. So this type of thing. Yes, with abdication, it's very easy. Yeah. I think that the thing is with Qing, I think you actually want to stay. You don't want to go Republican day one anyway. Because it's really easy to be really righteous, and the cautious guy is like worth keeping in because he's cautious. What country you like is just in the Persia region that just got flavor. I haven't really tried the new flavor. Persia's a lot of fun though because they have really nice mappy. It feels nice. I mean the construction bonus minor. I meant that foreign investments was using your actual construction sectors. Yeah, they use your construction sectors. Oh, you mean foreign investment into your country? No, it uses their construction sectors. Just make Intelligentsia rev and abdicate, no nothing? Really? It's China? I thought the literati didn't care. They have to care, don't they? Oh, they do care. Okay, yeah, fair. I thought they didn't care. It works for most nations? Yeah. It's not really day one. You can do it day one. If you want to recruit and fire generals until you fire enough intelligentsia guys. I think that's probably a little bit too tedious. You can afford to wait. The super optimized runs involve manipulating clout with like generals like way more than like most people would really be interested in doing. You can't tell if it's my car or your car. Is abdicating it do be loud outside. Is abdicating a DLC feature? It might be tied behind Voice of the People, I'm not sure. If it is a DLC feature, it's in Voice of the People, I don't really know. It has requirements, but you have tier 3 construction company and then swap mandate for construction to anything else. Do you keep the company or will it be demolished? I don't know. I imagine the way the game works currently, I imagine you actually get to keep it. So maybe this is actually part of the strategy. You just go construction and then you eventually rotate off of construction. I also think for a single mandate cost, construction's actually just the best thing. Right, so I think when you form a new power block, right, you should just, I thought they put this through today where unrecognized could form stuff, but okay, I guess not. But I think that the very first mandate you get should probably go to construction. Unless your starting principle, you want to go to level 3 for some reason or something like this, but yeah. Abdicating is DLC, big sad. It gets demolished, the construction company, that's good to know. Yeah, you don't have that option, kind of hard to follow guides then? Yeah, I mean, there's like other ways to do it if you can't abdicate, but I actually think I think abdicating is actually really important in this like high, having a ton of radicals, like new meta situation. So, yeah, that's rough, I don't know. Pass police and make intelligentsia mad. Yeah, we could show it real quick. I'm not sure they'll get revolutionary though. See if we have any intelligentsia generals. No. Ah, we have this guy. Now they're proper mad. Or they were for a second. We're not gonna find another one that easy. Yeah. We're just making them really pissed to show the thing. Son of a bitch. I forgot I had not like this. We had it for 1 second. The point is if they're revolutionary, they do abdicate to it. Is there anything else we can pass? Drat. Okay. Well, if we abdicate to it, we would get the thing. And a bunch of loyalists too. Yep. Do you recommend Trade League or Sovereign Empire with NL as East Indies? NL. I don't know what NL stands for. I think that Trade League is probably better, but I'm really not sure. Abdicate with Scholar and Gov, though? Yeah. Scholar officials. Netherlands. Oh, I would do Trade League for the memes. Run with Mexico could be fun. Yeah, I agree. Anyways, let's find someone else who's streaming some Victoria 3, if we can. I was surprised the category was kind of doing a little bit weak when we looked at it the other day, considering the new thing just came out. And then there was someone who like I completely didn't recognize that was streaming it. So someone's streaming in Spanish, it looks like. Someone's talking about the engines of products. Economic imperialism. Who should we raid? Alright.
8. Yeah, so production.
Should we raid him? Or him? Or him? Or him? There's a bunch of people with like 5 viewers. I guess we could see if the person with a lot of viewers already has or is it in English. No, there we got an ad. Alright, we're going for the engines of progress, I think. Alright. And maybe answer a couple of last minute questions that are in the chat. When Hawaii? I'm probably not going to play Hawaii anytime soon. We will raid, or we will pull up the person who we are raiding and link it to the YouTube as well, if you guys want to drop in. And other than that, thanks for coming out. We're going to work on some stuff. Probably have some videos coming out in the next hour or two, and then maybe one more coming out a little bit later tonight. We'll see. Going to try and keep them coming out kind of you know, frequently. For those of you who are on Twitch, I do have a YouTube. And have a good one, you guys.
Urgent. Toss like a boss. With